everybody. I'm Tim Brando, and happy holidays to you and yours, and welcome to the Home Depot College Football on CBS. Most of you will see Boston College face second-ranked Virginia Tech. The Hokies need a strong showing. They're rheumatic, aren't they, to maintain their national championship hopes. A win by the Eagles could propel them to the Gator Bowl. Others will see Arkansas take on LSU. The Hogs are playing for a slot in the Cotton Bowl, while the Tigers are playing their first game since head coach Jerry DiNardo was fired. My holidays are spent, as always, with Spencer Tillman. Great to have you with us. And obviously, big news for Virginia Tech. They get some help. Nebraska will have to play a Texas team that just lost to Texas A&M in the Big 12 championship. That certainly helps them where the computer polls are concerned. It's all right in front of them, just as it was for Florida State against Florida last week.
Indeed, Timmy, but still, this is not a perfect world, nor is this a perfect BCS system. This much is true, though. Virginia Tech cannot worry about what's happened. The teams that they have faced, Syracuse, Miami, and Virginia, and Clemson, they dominated all those teams. They're headed to a bowl situation. That's what they can control. You don't worry about the things you can't control. Just keep playing football.
Memo to Mike Tranghese, commissioner of the Big East. Get a Big East title game, right? The pollsters would love to see one. Coming up, it's Boston College at Virginia Tech or Arkansas at LSU. We'll be here for the AXA Halftime Report. Enjoy your game here on CBS.
The Home Depot College Football on CBS is sponsored by AXA Advisors, Web TV, Chevrolet, and by the Home Depot.
Hello, welcome to Home Depot. I am the Professor Roland. Home Depot University is a whole series of classes. It's different from our clinics. We'll have painting, electrical, plumbing.
Everything I tell you here is on the list.
Competence really comes from hands-on. And I'm loving it. They get a full-blown diploma and they get a badge.
Congratulations. Let's hear it for the Home Depot University.
See you next week.
Introducing the all-new Chevy Monte Carlo.
Green.
The side you show the world is up to you.
A financial representative is like a good coach.
Lynn Medeiros, AXA Advisors.
First, I gotta have all the financial X's and O's. Second, I gotta motivate people to do their best, to execute the game plan.
AXA Advisors, part of a global company helping 40 million people.
And sometimes, I have to blow the whistle and say, look, do this. It's good for you. It's what your family needs.
AXA Advisors, building futures.
Oh, not again.
Working together, we've made enormous progress in reducing drunk driving, but last year, alcohol-related fatalities still claimed the lives of almost 16,000 Americans. So if you choose to drink, drink in moderation and choose a designated driver who doesn't drink at all. Remember, the designated driver is the life of the party.
For action as big as Texas, the address is CBS.
Hi, this is Bob Skillen for Pilot Homes, and today we're interviewing people to see just how familiar they are with our name.
Pilot Homes? Oh, you mean that nice Italian airline?
Pilot and Homes? Great law firm.
Pilot who?
Pilot Holmes?
Uh-huh.
Oh, I know. That's Sherlock Holmes' brother, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they made that new yoga exercise tape.
No, cloning research.
Pilot who?
When you think home, think Pilot Homes in Christiansburg.
If you could pick your next car payment, you'd be a happy camper, right?
Yes! Well, you can do exactly that this week at the Duncan Automotive Network.
At Duncan Lincoln Mercury Jeep in Christiansburg.
New Mercury Cougars are only $199 a month.
Just $279 a month, and you're in a Jeep Cherokee.
So pick a payment. Pick a car with no monthly payments till the next century.
This week at Duncan Lincoln Mercury Jeep on Roanoke Street, just off I-81 in Christiansburg.
A proud member of the Duncan Automotive Network.
A live post-game show from Tech tonight on WDBJ 7.
Virginia Tech Hokies have much to celebrate this Thanksgiving weekend as they stand one victory away from a perfect season. They've been blessed by the talents of freshman quarterback Michael Vick, who engineered a miraculous finish against West Virginia 3 weeks ago to keep Tech perfect. Now focused on the task at hand, the Hokies need to clear one last regular season hurdle. And their path could point due south toward New Orleans and the Sugar Bowl with a chance to play for the national championship. The Boston College Eagles are experiencing a rebirth under third-year coach Tom O'Brien. With quarterback Tim Hasselbeck leading the way, the Eagles have become the cardiac kids of the Big East, pulling out 4 games in the final seconds. And with a top 25 ranking, BC has undergone a complete makeover and developed into a power in the Big East. They're celebrating their finest season since 1993. It's Boston College and Virginia Tech as the Hokies try to complete a perfect regular season. It is the Home Depot College Football on CBS Sports. Here in the Blue Ridge Mountains of Southwest Virginia, the locals are ready for the most important college football game ever played in these parts. They're ready to cheer through the raindrops on the day of the final home game for 23 Hokie seniors, including All-American candidates at defensive end John Engelberger and Corey Moore. As number 2, Virginia Tech looks to keep its national championship hopes alive against the resurgent Boston College Eagles, who come to Blacksburg ranked number 20 in the nation. And here come the Hokies. 10-0 and ranked number 2, the highest ranking in the history of the Tech football program. And the Boston College Eagles at 8-2, their best record through 10 games since 1993. The number 20 ranking, their highest since 1994. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. I'm Sean McDonough, and it's great to have you with us for a game Tech coach Frank Beamer says is the most important in the history of Virginia Tech football. And when you consider all that Virginia Tech is playing for today, it's hard to argue with that statement. They're trying for their first ever 11-0 season, their second ever outright Big East Conference championship, and perhaps with a win today, a chance to play for the national championship for the first time ever in the Sugar Bowl. And I'm joined as always by Todd Blackledge. And Todd, when you look at this game, it seems to be a classic case of one team, Virginia Tech, that has everything to lose, one team, Boston College, nothing to lose.
Well, certainly Boston College has to be the looser team coming in here. They've already guaranteed they're going to a good bowl game. They've already exceeded everyone's expectations, even their head coach. Virginia Tech, on the other hand, they can't help but feel pressure, and most of that pressure is coming from the BCS standings. Currently, the standings are as follows. Florida State number 1, Virginia Tech 2, Nebraska 3, but that differential is just .63. The pressure on Virginia Tech has become how that margin has dwindled over the last month. You see, back in November 1st, it was over 12 points separated the two teams. Now, less than 1, and I don't like the effect this can have on a football team, because Virginia Tech's thinking now, not only do we have to beat Boston College, we have to beat them convincingly if we want to stay ahead of Nebraska. And the tendency is maybe to press a little bit and not play your own game.
And Boston College is a team on a roll. The Eagles have won 3 in a row. They're young and inexperienced, but improving rapidly. And really the textbook case along those lines is the quarterback, Tim Hasselbeck.
Well, Tim Hasselbeck clearly played his best game of his career last week against Notre Dame. He made all the plays as a thrower and a runner. He is confident right now. He's coming in as a hot quarterback. Most impressively last week, the team was down 14-0 when he rallied him and played his best football. That gives them a chance today.
Down on the field and dodging the raindrops, here's Michelle Tafoya.
Oh, that's right, Sean. And the weather forecast suggests that it is going to be raining hard here for the next 6 or 7 hours. Virginia Tech defensive coordinator Bud Foster told me he'd like to see as little precipitation as possible because a wet field could neutralize one of his team's biggest advantages, and that is speed on defense. I also spoke to Frank Beamer before the game. He told me he could live with some rain in spurts, but a messy field could lead to costly mistakes and turnovers, helping the underdog. That's Boston College. In fact, Beamer said in years past when he was the underdog, he'd pray for rain. But Virginia Tech is clearly not the underdog today, and Beamer said we need a dry field. They are not going to get it, Sean. Back to you.
They will get the ball first, Michelle, as BC won the toss and deferred. And Virginia Tech will receive. 55 degrees. And as Michelle told you, the forecast for rain, it rained virtually all day here yesterday. And more of the same today.
Michelle talked about the wet field favoring the underdog, and the wet field also favors the slower football team. And clearly in this game, Virginia Tech's team speed, one of their big advantages on both sides of the ball. This levels the playing field a little bit for Boston College.
Mike Sutphin will kick off, a junior walk-on from Ellicott City, Maryland. Breeze at his back. And a good kick by Sutphin about 3 yards into the end zone. Run out by Andre Kendrick. And their backup tailback reached the 12-yard line before he was chopped down by Jonathan Ordway, a starting cornerback who covers kickoffs for BC. Here comes Michael Vick, the redshirt freshman from Newport News, Virginia, having a terrific freshman season. Big improvement on the Virginia Tech team this year on offense. They've been very solid defensively and on special teams in recent years, but the offense better this year thanks mostly to the development of Vick. Great threat running and throwing. Stith, their leading rusher, is the tailback in the eye. Vick fake to him. Here's where he's really dangerous. He's all the way out to the 46-yard line. Tripped up by the safety, Pedro Serino. A gain of 34 for Vick, who had touchdown runs last week against Temple of 53 and 75 yards.
Sean, he's 215 pounds. He's very strong in the lower body, and he is exceptionally fast. He's not just quick, he has great speed. And when he gets on the perimeter or in the middle of your defense, you've got some problems.
1st and 10 Hokies at their own 46. Stith ahead for 2 to the 48. He's rushed for more than 1,000 yards this season, the first Tech player to do so since Dwayne Thomas in 1993. Jarrett Ferguson, mostly a blocker at fullback. Davis, great speed on the outside with Ricky Hall, and Derek Carter is the tight end. Inexperienced and solid offensive line, anchored in the middle by the center Keith Short. Josh Redding and Matt Lair are the guards. Dave Cadella and Anthony Lambeau are the tackles. Ricky Hall and Andre Davis to the left of Vick. He's a left-handed thrower. Operating out of the shotgun on 2nd and 8, and the pass is almost intercepted. It went through the hands of Ricky Hall, and then Pedro Serino had a shot at it. And Hall's had a problem with drops. As a matter of fact, last year when they lost to Temple, he dropped what would have been the game-winning touchdown pass in the end zone. He says he still thinks about that.
Well, that's the case there where he's just thinking about running with the football before making the catch. And Serino, who made the game-saving interception against Notre Dame last week in the final 2 minutes, almost came away with a big INT right there.
3rd down and 8. Here comes a blitz. Well picked up. Here comes Vick with running room again. And he has the first down. If the marker was placed correctly along the near sideline, the chains are actually on the other side of the field. George White chased them out and took a Vick stiff arm, and Michael is excellent size at 212 pounds.
Well, the thing when you rush Michael Vick is you want to try to keep in your rush lanes and not give him a crease. That time he got a crease on the left side, and again, the speed that he has is what sets him apart. There's a lot of good scrambling quarterbacks. Tim Hasselbeck is a good scrambling quarterback for Boston College, but Michael Vick has outstanding speed, and if he gets a crease in there, he's going to hurt you.
And a huge rushing game against Temple in their 62-7 victory last week. 1st and 10 Hokies at the BC 43. The fullback through a big hole. Jarrett Ferguson. Down to the 10-yard line. Jonathan Ordway saved the touchdown. 34 yards on the run for Ferguson, the sophomore from Goodview, Virginia.
Nice changeup call by Ricky Bussell. You heard him on the perimeter with a couple scrambles. Then you go right up the gut with the fullback. Get him involved in the game. And Jarrett Ferguson, nice job of running north and south. Heard him outside early, then come back inside between the tackles.
Ferguson's a former walk-on tailback, added 20 pounds last year as he converted to fullback. Stith dancing inside the 5, tripped up by George White with help from Pedro Serino. The two safeties in on the tackle. Chris Hovan is the best player up front, the All-American candidate at defensive end. Mike Willits, a solid veteran as well. Frank Chamberlain, their leading tackler, had 25 in one game against Syracuse. And the veteran safeties anchor the secondary, Serino and White, with Ramon Johnson and Jonathan Ordway, the fastest man on the team, the cornerbacks. Second and goal from the 3. Stith. Touchdown!
They ran right behind the right guard, Josh Redding, and the right tackle, Dave Cadella. A great double team at the point of attack by those two guys, and Stith easily dives into the end zone. If there was any question about a lack of focus for Virginia Tech in this ball game, answered very quickly.
And Shane Graham adds the extra point. What a drive by the Hokies. 88 yards in 7 plays, capped by the 3-yard run by Stith.
Once again, the market saw incredible gains. Tech is up, utilities are up, manufacturing is up, industrials are up, transportation is up. Everything is going through the roof. Except your portfolio, Steve. It pretty much busted. But you'd know if you had web TV and used the internet to follow your stocks on TV. Oh, and your wife's leaving you.
Honey?
In other news, the governments of 3 foreign nations have created a
Okay, so this is Woodford Technologies. Big meeting. This guy's a player. True blue gamer. PC games at work, video games at home. New Insight magazine is just the ticket. Entirely on you. I didn't do it! Chairman Woodford. Enjoy.
Cool. Meeting's over.
Plasma rifle, man. Page 79. Hi. You like video games?
Insight PC Gaming, Insight Video Gaming. Millennium Issues on sale December 7th. Call for trial offer.
Your money hits the web. Wants to buy. Doesn't want to be the one that paid too much. No problemo. Introducing Click Credit from Citibank. Credit minus the card. Now you can shop online and get the lowest advertised price out there, or get back the difference. Give it a whirl at clickcredit.com. Citibank, where money lives.
Oh, Mom, it's great. My first apartment. You should see it. It's huge.
When you've got things to talk about, it's a good idea to dial 10-10-321 first.
And I got a great view of the river.
With 10-10-321, you get 50% off calls over 10 minutes. That's just 8 cents a minute, day or night, and no monthly fees. And at 50% off, you can share every last detail.
And I even have a garden.
Talk as long as you want with 10-10-321.
A monster feast in the AFC East. First, the Pats fight to stay alive against Buffalo. Then the Jets are juiced for Peyton and the Colts. The NFL on CBS.
Tyrone Stith just scored his 12th. Make that his 13th rushing touchdown of the season to tie the single-season Tech record shared by Tommy Francisco, James Barber, Ken Oxendine. And that score gives Virginia Tech an incredible margin in the first half against its opponents, including Chris Hovan, this season.
Yeah, they jump on you quick. I mean, they play with great intensity. They come out of the locker room with great emotion. And Chris Hovan learned firsthand, you better have it ready to go early on against the Hokies.
Jimmy Kibble, who's also their punter, kicks off for Virginia Tech. Very high, but very short and very out of bounds. Boston College will begin with excellent field position. Let's go back and look at the touchdown.
Well, watch the double team right in here by Redding and Cadella. They just drive it back in. The fullback Ferguson gets a block, and Tyrone Stith starts his dive, already broken the plane of the goal line. Great job by the right guard and the right tackle, paving the way for Tyrone Stith.
Tim Hasselbeck is the quarterback, junior from Norfolk, Massachusetts. Son of Don Hasselbeck, fine tight end in the NFL for 9 years. He's the brother of Matt Hasselbeck, now in the NFL with the Green Bay Packers. Matt was a 2-year starting quarterback at Boston College, and Tim is developing rapidly. over the course of the season become one of the best quarterbacks in the Big East. Out of the shotgun, a handoff on first down. Cedric Washington, their leading rusher, with more than 1,000 yards on the season. Got nothing. Washington with Ryan Birch, a blocking fullback. With big play threat outside is Dedrick Dewalt, and Bryant Arndt, a regular target in recent weeks. The strength of the offense, the offensive line. Alford could be a first-round pick in the next NFL draft. Zakakis, a terrific player at right guard. Butch Palazzo, fifth-year senior center, is the offensive team captain. Lacaire and Cook on the other side of the offensive line for BC. 2nd and 10. Hasselbeck to throw. Now he steps up and he can run. Makes a good move on Nick Sorensen. He's into Virginia Tech territory all the way to the 42. Michael Hawks chased him down after a gain of 23. So we've already seen Michael Vick with a couple of long runs, and now Tim Hasselbeck answers.
Well, Virginia Tech had everybody up close to the line of scrimmage, and when Hasselbeck saw the crease, he knew all he had to do was make one guy miss. Slippery field, a lot easier to run forward than to stop and move sideways. A good run, good decision by Hasselbeck, and he was their leading rusher last week against Notre Dame. He is not afraid to pull it down and run when he sees what he likes.
He rushed for 60 yards and a touchdown against the Fighting Irish. Off to Cedric Washington, and he's close to another first down. Running right through the heart of one of the best rushing defenses in college football. Anchored up front by the outstanding ends Engelberger and Moore, with solid tackles Williams and Bradley. The linebackers are Taylor, Hawks, and Smith. And in the secondary, Nick Sorensen and Corey Bird. The safeties, Anthony Midget and Mike Charlton, are the corners. 1st and 10, Boston College on the move, trying to answer the quick Virginia Tech score. Hasselbeck with time again, throws over the head of the tight end, Brian Arndt. There was contact, but the officials indicating that the ball was uncatchable. Meanwhile, Nebraska, hot on the heels of the Hokies in the BCS standings. The Huskers have scored on their first 2 possessions in Boulder today.
You know, the Virginia Tech defensive front is the best that Boston College has seen this year. But by the same token, the offensive line of BC is probably the best group that Virginia Tech has faced also. It's going to be a great battle in the trenches today.
Out of the shotgun, shovel pass. Cedric Washington, great call, and a first down. Nick Sorensen, the safety, had to make the tackle again as the play goes to the 18, maybe even the 17-yard line.
Whenever you have ends that like to get up the field, this play can be a threat. Corey Moore likes to rush the quarterback. He likes to get sacks. You invite him up the field, and you slip the shovel pass in underneath him. Nice play call and well executed by BC. That slows that pass rush down a little bit.
Cedric Washington was questionable right up until game time with a sore knee to the helmet in the left knee against Notre Dame last week and left that game in the 3rd quarter. He's tackled this time by Michael Hawks. Hawks, the senior from Blackstone, Virginia. I think in watching the tape of the BC Notre Dame game from last weekend, one of the most impressive aspects of the Boston College performance was they got behind 14-0 very quickly and hung right in there and fought their way back.
And it starts with their quarterback. I mean, Dana Bible says the most distinguishing characteristic about him is that he is an intense competitor. Doesn't mean he's not talented, because he's talented, but he will fight you, and I think the rest of his team feeds off that.
Here comes the rush. Hasselbeck stripped of the football. And Hasselbeck got it back. Back at the 22-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and long.
Well, nobody does this better than Corey Moore. I think this is who got his hand on the football. Here he is. Watch him. He just knows how to go get the football. As he gets around the tackle, he's not just going for the sack, he's going for the football. Reaches back up in there, and Tim Hasselbeck did a nice job covering the football. You cannot turn the ball over against Virginia Tech. They feed off of it. They thrive on it better than any team I've ever seen.
They lead the Big East in sacks, but BC has given up the fewest sacks, 15 all season long. Out of the shotgun on 3rd down and long. Flags are down. They stop the play. Deafening crowd noise making it difficult. These fans are well aware of all that's at stake today.
Prior to the snap, ball stop. Remains 3rd down.
Dennis Hennigan is the referee leading this Big East officiating crew. So Tom O'Brien's team is backing up right now. He's in his 3rd year as head coach at Boston College. Inherited a mess. A team in total disarray coming off a gambling scandal. And in 3 short years, he has them heading to a bowl game. He has them in the top 20. I don't know of anybody in the country who's done a better job than Tom O'Brien. He faced a bigger challenge than the one that he took over.
Trusting each other is so important for a team. And that team 3 years ago, they didn't know who they could trust. They didn't know who they could count on.
Play action pass. Hasselbeck steps up, had a man open, but the pass a little bit long. Intended for Derek Crittenden, a Virginia native back in his home state. A senior from Annandale, Virginia, where he played on 2 state championship teams in high school. He's the brother of the former New England Patriot wide receiver Ray Crittenden. So here's John Maddich, the senior from San Diego, who's had a tough year. Just 9 for 17. He used to have the nickname Automatic, but he's lost that with his struggles this season.
Bet he wishes he still had it. That's a good nickname for a kicker.
Hasselbeck is the holder. This is a 44-yard try from the right hash mark. With a light breeze at his back, Hasselbeck dropped the snap, and now he's running for his life. And he slides down to the 27, chased by Nick Sorensen. Well, it was a good-looking drive, self-destructed deep in Hokie territory.
Frank Beamer told us about this a couple weeks ago. He says, we don't have as many block kicks this year as we've had in the past, but it's always a pressure. It's always a stress that we put on opposing kick teams. That was a decent snap, but Hasselbeck, a wet football, just not able to get it controlled and get it down.
Nearly midway through the first quarter, Tom O'Brien's Eagles down 7-0.
Nobody in America sells more office products to more businesses than Office Depot.
You can shop our store.
Taking care of business.
Or you can shop our catalog.
Taking care of business.
You can shop online.
Taking care of business. It's all mine. Taking care of business and working overtime. Work out.
Office Depot. Taking care of business.
Hey.
This is for those ready to hit the road.
Hit the road. This is for a tough world.
This is for those looking for a solid experience.
This is excitement. Well built.
This is for right now. Right now.
Hit the road and get 2.9% APR financing or $500 cash back on any solid Grand Am. Or see your dealer for details on great lease offers. This is for me.
For me. For me.
Hit the road for Pontiac driving excitement. This is for me.
As you might expect, Teller and I don't see eye to eye on investing. I like to avoid risk. Teller's a little more daring. We do, however, share the same new way to trade online.
Introducing Power Street by Fidelity, the first site with trading tools customized by Lycos to fit your unique way of doing things.
Look, the market's up, or in your case, down.
Power Street Online Trading. To find out how you could win free trades for life, visit Fidelity.com.
CBS Tonight.
I've been so attracted to you.
Yasmin Bleeth is hot for Cheech. In his dreams,
You're actually dreaming about me.
Are you high?
now everyone is losing sleep. All new Nash Bridges CBS Tonight.
Defensive coordinator Bud Foster talking to the Virginia Tech defense. Playoff races are shaping up in the NFL on CBS is there with doubleheader action in the early game. Many of you will see Drew Bledsoe drive the Patriots against Doug Flutie and the Buffalo Bills. In the late games, the Jets take on Peyton Manning and the Colts. Check local listings for these and other regional games, beginning with the NFL today.
Sean, one thing Boston College has to be aware of now, Virginia Tech early in the game likes to go play action deep, try to get André Davis the ball down the field.
First and 10 Hokies on their own 27. Vick with a lot of time. Now he's running out of time. He escapes Adam Newman and turns it into a gain out near the 35-yard line before the linebacker Scott Bradley made the tackle.
That's what they were doing, Sean. They had André Davis singled up, and he ran by his man, but Vick was not comfortable with what he saw out there and decided to scramble. That's a Ricky Bussell trademark. I mean, they run the football. They're a power football team, but A couple times each quarter, they like to go play action and throw it downfield and get a big play.
3 carries, 51 yards rushing for Vick. And the option pitch to Stith. A good block from the fullback Ferguson and a first down. Out of bounds at the 46 in the arms of Pedro Sereno.
Sean, you mentioned the fullback getting a block. The wide receiver, André Davis, is going to get a block too as the option comes down the line. There's André Davis coming in motion, and then the fullback leads on the outside. So they sealed the linebacker in with the wide receiver, and then the fullback got a good block on the perimeter. Notre Dame hurt BC last week with the option outside. Too much speed, I think, if they don't defend it exceptionally well.
And that's why Frank Beamer wanted a dry field. He feels he has the speed advantage on both sides of the ball. Stith running hard inside. Tackled by Jerome Ledbetter. Jerome, a redshirt freshman from Jersey City, New Jersey, one of 4 starters on defense from the state of New Jersey. Tyrone Stith's a Virginia native from Chesapeake. And he's overcome a tough background to become a terrific player. His mom, Wanda McCoy, worked 2 jobs, a custodian and a housekeeper to support Tyrone and his sister Andrea. And Tyrone says his work ethic comes from his mother, and the running back coach Billy Height says Stith is the hardest worker that he's coached in 25 years of coaching. Vick, the nice pocket, steps up into it, fires a strike for a first down. To the 31-yard line, the tight end Browning Wynn. A pickup of 21. George White, a 3-year starter at safety, had the coverage for BC.
Good pass protection up front was the first thing for Virginia Tech. It was the tight end crossing the field. Here he is right here. Watch a long crossing route to the tight end, but watch the good pass protection. The 5 guys up front, both backs involved in the protection, allowed Michael Vick to step right up in the pocket and hit the tight end crossing the field. Tight ends don't catch a lot of balls, but when they catch them, they're significant. I mean, they make big plays when they throw to them.
Andre Kendrick looking to throw, looking in the direction of Vick, who was covered. That play well defended by Boston College, and Kendrick dropped for a loss back at the 36 by Sean Guthrie and Jerome Ledbetter. There's Frank Spaziani in his first year as defensive coordinator at Boston College. He was the running backs coach his first 2 years at BC, a former defensive coordinator in Canada, in the CFL, and in Virginia with George Welsh. And I loved his motto when we talked with him. He said to his players, if you think, you stink.
That's right.
You have to just react instinctively, to not think. There's no time for that.
You prepare during the week so that you can react on a Saturday, or in this case, a Friday afternoon. If you have to think, you're going to get beat.
And Vick was thinking with the play clock at 1, he used the timeout. Virginia Tech trying to complete a perfect regular season. Lead 7-0 in the first.
5 things to consider about the Chevy Impala. It's new. It starts under $20,000. It's designed, engineered, and built to be carefree. It's at your Chevy dealer now. It's received the highest frontal crash rating possible. 5 stars from the federal government. The new Chevy Impala. As USA Today put it, it's a lot more car than you imagine, at a lower price than you expect. The new Chevy Impala.
Let's go for a drive.
2 best friends.
Did you ever take a fight on short notice?
How short? 1 big problem.
You guys never fought each other, right?
Now.
Why are you fighting?
I got $100 grand for you guys to split.
Because they pay us.
They'll get one last shot at the title.
Just back off, okay?
If they don't kill each other first.
Kiss mine.
Well, I might do that, because ever since you shave your head, you look so brilliant.
Play it to the bone.
I just don't like you.
Rated R. Starts Friday, January 14th.
Want to intimidate? Put on your game face. But when you take it off, put on your Remington face with the Remington Microscreen 3 and the power of 3 flexing microscreens to get close, fast.
Just try and get closer.
Shaves incredibly close or your money back.
Now, get the biggest enlistment bonus the Army has ever offered. As much as $20,000. Plus up to $50,000 to pay for college. For your future, for your country's future. Call today. 1-800-USA-ARMY.
He started a musical revolution. Now Carlos Santana has the #1 album in America. Catch him with international superstar Ricky Martin in an all-new special CBS Tonight.
For Jag, the address is CBS.
Ominous clouds on the horizon outside Lane Stadium in Blacksburg, Virginia. And an ominous score for Hokies fans. They're well aware that Nebraska's been closing the gap in the BCS standings, and the Cornhuskers still lead in the first quarter 14-0 at Colorado. Frank Beamer tells his team, just concentrate on the things you can control. And playing well and winning this game against Boston College. On second and long, option keeper by Vick. He turns the corner but goes out of bounds at the 28-yard line. A gain of 8 for Vick. And he's on a pace to rush for nearly 100 yards here in the first quarter.
Michael Vick looks pretty good to me right now in this ball game. When we talked to Ricky Bussell the other day, he said, you know, last week against Temple, the week of practice, he did not have a good week of preparation. And he played like it on Saturday, and then he couldn't find the right button to push to get in the groove. He made some big plays, but overall, he didn't play very well. He said this week he's had a great week of practice. And you know, he's still young. He's still learning how to practice every day with a competitive edge. Ricky Bussell said he practiced great this week. He's playing great so far.
Well, freshmen often have a tough time with the length of the season. Vick in trouble. Escaped for a moment, but he is finally taken down back at the 32 by the blitzing linebacker, Scott Bradley, a sophomore from Hanover, Massachusetts, out of Xaverian High School in the Boston area, the alma mater of Tim Hasselbeck. They have 7 players on this BC team out of Xaverian High School.
Well, good pressure initially inside by Hovan right over the center. That forced Michael Vick up into the pocket, and then he was finished off in there by Bradley. Credit Hovan with the assist and making Michael Vick leave the pocket.
They're going to punt. It would be almost a 50-yard field goal into the breeze. Shane Graham has the leg to get that done, perhaps, but on a wet field, it's also possible that this could be a punt fake. And he thought about it for a moment. Then Kibble did punt. You wonder if it was deflected, because it's rolling out at the 20-yard line. Sean Guthrie was near Kibble. I don't know if he deflected it or if Kibble simply shanked it straight up in the air, but it looked for a moment like it was going to be a fake.
Yeah, it did. It looked like he was hesitating for a minute. It's hard to figure what Kibble was thinking. The only thing I can think is if he was going to throw it out here against bump and run coverage, but Kibble certainly looked like he was pulling it down for a second. You don't see Frank Beamer's teams make many mistakes in the special teams. Maybe he just had to adjust the football, but he did not get off the kind of punt he wanted.
No, that wasn't touched. He just kicked it straight up in the air. Hasselbeck, the keeper, and a loss. Back to the 18-yard line. Michael Hawks, the middle linebacker, made the tackle. He's in his second year as the starting middle linebacker for the Hokies.
Now, Sean, we saw the seniors get introduced before the game, and I think one of the real credits of this team and one of the real strengths, particularly on defense, is their senior leadership. They have some outstanding players who are fifth-year guys who have been in this system for 3, 4, 5 years and have played a lot of football. Michael Hawks is one of those guys.
Under 4 minutes left in the first quarter. Second and 11 for BC, trailing 7-0. Pass in the flat and a nice tackle made by Nick Sorensen on the tight end Brian Arndt. A gain to the 21, the pickup of 3. They'll be looking at nearly 9 yards to go for a first down.
When BC is in their one-back set, that is the blitz set for Virginia Tech. Engelberger here working on Alford, and he's really not coming too hard. He's kind of guarding the outside. The blitz came up inside, forcing the quick throw.
There's Bud Foster, been with Frank Beamer for a long time. He played for Beamer at Murray State, coached with him there, and has been with Frank throughout his 13 years here. Here comes the blitz, and Sorensen, the safety, gets Hasselbeck back at the 10-yard line.
This is a nice play by Sorensen in not giving away the blitz. Watch Sorensen kind of wait to the last minute to get up in the A gap, and they weren't able to get a running back inside on him. Boston College had enough guys in there to block him, but he timed the blitz perfectly, and neither running back could pick up the blitzing safety.
Kevin McMyler with an excellent punt out of the end zone. Ricky Hall caught it at his own 42. Trying to get outside. He stripped of the football. Serino had it and did not recover it. He made a terrible play.
He wanted to score.
He looked like he wanted to pick it up and run it in when he really should have been content just to recover it. Brian Arndt knocked the ball out, but Serino missed it, and the Hokies got it back at their own 24-yard line. Looked like Larry Austin came up with the football.
Well, Arndt did a great job by just pushing the man back into the Hall first and then knocking the ball out. And right here, ball on the football. This is the best special teams football team in the country. If they put the ball on the ground, you've got to recover the football and make them pay. Big break for the Hokies.
And when you're the underdog as BC is, you have to take advantage of every big break. And Serino had it dropped right in his lap. And he's a heady senior player. But not on that play. Andre Kendrick, the tailback. Stood up at the 25-yard line. Tomorrow night, Ice Wars finishes with a flourish with the men's and women's artistic programs. Many of your all-time favorites, including Christy Yamaguchi, Brian Boitano, Ara Lipinski, Oksana Bayul, and Kurt Browning, will light up the ice tomorrow night here on CBS. Second team backfield in behind Vick now. Cullen Hawkins, the fullback, and Kendrick is the tailback. Fake to Kendrick. Vick throws a bullet, and a nice catch made by André Davis on a ball thrown behind him at the 36-yard line. First down, Virginia Tech.
Sean, great catch. Not just thrown behind him, but thrown low and hard behind him. I mean, this ball is really whistling when it gets to Davis. On a wet field, watch him reach back behind him and make the catch. A low, hard throw. Great concentration by André Davis, and Ricky Bussell said he has had a huge year for us this year. André Davis has made a lot of big plays. You see that average, 26 yards every time he catches the football.
First and 10. Hokies at their own 35. Kendrick lost the football, and BC has it this time. Jonathan Ordway recovered the fumble.
Andre Kendrick.
Frank Chamberlain knocked it out, and Ordway recovered at the 38-yard line.
Nice play by Chamberlain, stringing this play out, making Kendrick go to the sideline. Here comes Chamberlain, two guys in there stripping the football out, and Ordway does the smart thing. Falls on the football, gives the offense the ball with the short field.
George White, also in there. He appeared to make the primary play. Chamberlain coming over the top to help make the tackle and knock the ball out. Well, the Hokies do turn it over in their own end at the 39. Moving along the line, flags thrown, and they stop the action. Carlton Rowe has checked in a tailback for Cedric Washington. Rowe did the bulk of the ball carrying last week when Washington went down.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
And that's the kind of thing that drives Tom O'Brien crazy. A big part of their success has been his real focus on fundamentals.
And those kind of penalties against a team like Virginia Tech, who makes so many negative plays anyway, you give them 5 more yards, they force your offense to play uphill. When you got the big turnover, keep that momentum. Those kind of penalties really hurt your momentum when you go back 5 yards.
Coaches say you like to stay on schedule, the down and distance, not get behind the down and distance. And Dana Bible made that point, the offensive coordinator at BC, in his first year. He deserves a lot of credit for the development of this offensive unit.
I think one thing Tim Hasselbeck needs to be aware of right now is it may be tough to go on a lot of longer snap counts and do a lot of audibling at the line of scrimmage right now. The crowd is getting into the football game. They've had a couple illegal motion penalties because of that. Maybe better off to just call play in the huddle, get up, use a quick count, come off the football, and execute the play.
They've reset the game clock to 104. Might seem like a trivial matter at this juncture, but this year in college football, as we've seen week after week, that final second can be crucial. We saw that last week at Gainesville. BC's played 5 games come down to the final second. Carlton Rowe, the lone back. 2 tight ends in. They run a lot of 2 tight end sets. Hasselbeck, the design keeper, got the penalty yardage back to the 39, and it'll be 2nd down and 10. Nick Sorensen has had a big first quarter. And the tackle, the safety junior from Vienna, Virginia. Mentioned the cardiac kid's moniker placed on this BC team. Baylor, they won in overtime on a mixed extra point. Miami, they blew a 28-0 lead. Syracuse, they had to hold off a last-minute rally. And, of course, last week they held off Notre Dame in the final second. Hasselbeck breaks a tackle and goes down to the 34-yard line in the arms of David Pugh, a backup defensive tackle, number 71.
Hasselbeck showed last week he can run the football. You don't see Corey Moore miss many tackles, but that's what happens here. He has a shot at Hasselbeck. Coming off the ground, not able to wrap him up, and Hasselbeck able to turn it upfield for a decent gain. And Virginia Tech hurts people with the option. One way to hurt an aggressive defense that plays a lot of 8-man front is to use the option.
Hasselbeck, 7 rushes, 37 yards. That's the end of the first quarter with the score. Virginia Tech 7 and Boston College nothing. We'll return to Lane Stadium right after this message and a word from your local station.
When was the last time you felt 284 horses tugging at your soul? When was the last time you immersed yourself in hand-tufted virgin leather? Can you really put a price on this kind of perfection? Actually, you can, because this $70,000 car could cost you over $326,000 in retirement savings. We just thought you should know. Ask a financial advisor about Sun America, the retirement specialist.
Now without a prescription, Lamisil AT for athlete's foot. So powerful, it cures with just 1 week's use. These take 4. So powerful, 3 months later, you're still athlete's foot free. Lamisil AT, the best way to cure athlete's foot.
This is a competing antiperspirant. And this is new Brood with Trimax, which fights odor and prevents wetness. Women who are pregnant, nursing, or may become pregnant should not handle broken containers of Brood. Ask your girlfriend if Brood is right for you.
For Everybody Loves Raymond, the address is CBS.
All you have to do is walk through the doors of Benton Motors, and you're a customer for a lifetime. I'm installing ductwork and building a career. I'm programming this HVAC system and building a career.
I'm running a plasma cutter and building a career.
A leading mechanical electrical contractor for over 50 years, Southern Air has trained dozens of hard-working people to become skilled craftsmen, earning a good living and working with one of the region's top companies. Don't just get a job, get a future. Contact Southern Air today.
Dodge Ram's payload and towing capabilities are the stuff of legend. But there's a load more. Ram introduced the world's first quad cab. Ram's available Magnum V10 is the largest and most powerful V10 in a full-size pickup. And Ram pickups are the longest-lasting full-size pickups on the road. We could go on, and on, and on. Dodge Ram. Different.
News 7 Sports postgame. Hokie High tonight at 7.
Number 2, Virginia Tech. Trying to earn its way into the national championship game in the Sugar Bowl. 1 quarter down in this one against Boston College. And the Hokies lead 7-0. The Eagles are in their territory following a fumble. And looking at a big 3rd down, 3rd and 5 from the 34.
Another good time for that shovel pass, Sean. We saw it once early, 3rd and 5. Be alert for that here from BC.
Hasselbeck rolls out. Throws on the run, and it is caught. What a catch by the Eagle player going across the middle of the field to the far sideline. That's Brian Arndt, the tight end. Couldn't tell if it was 86 Arndt or 96 Ryan Birch, the fullback. It was Arndt who's had some big games receiving in recent weeks.
Well, they faked the run, and Corey Moore in hot pursuit. What a throw by Hasselbeck, and then a great catch by Arndt, who had 5 catches for 80 yards last week against Notre Dame.
Carlton Rowe and Ryan Birch alongside Hasselbeck out of the shotgun. On the 20-yard line, he's in trouble. And sacked. Back of the 29-yard line by the blitzing safety, Corey Bird. The 3rd sack for Virginia Tech. Well, Todd, we talked earlier about the Hokies leading the Big East in sacks and the strength of the BC offense being that front line. Yeah. And so far kind of a standoff, although 3 sacks would say Virginia Tech's doing a good job.
Well, they get after the passer great, and part of that is on the quarterback right there. Hasselbeck's got to get rid of that football. You know, the one thing, Notre Dame didn't get much pressure on him last week, had a lot of time to stay back there and throw the football. Doesn't have that luxury against this defense. Got to make quick decisions.
2nd and 17. Handoff inside to Carlton Rowe, a senior from Huntington, New York, former defensive back. Played defense 2 years ago, and then moved to offense last year. Helped to back up Mike Cloud, BC's all-time leading rusher. There's Dana Bible in his first year as offensive coordinator at Boston College, and he's obviously made a difference.
He's a good coach. You know, I got to meet him last year. I do the Eagles preseason games, and he was the offensive coordinator for the Eagles last year.
That's the Philadelphia Eagles.
That's right, the Philadelphia Eagles. And rough year last year with them. And
well, they have no players on offense.
Been a good move for him coming here.
Cedric Washington back in. 3rd down and 15. This will be a long field goal try from this distance into the breeze. They come on a blitz. Hasselbeck throwing deep toward the end zone and almost intercepted by Nick Sorensen. The nearest receiver was Dedrick Dewalt, but Hasselbeck threw that one up for grabs in the back of the end zone.
This play didn't look good from the beginning. The snap was not handled cleanly, first of all, and then the ball looked like it really slipped off the hand of Hasselbeck coming out. And Sorensen not able to come up with the interception. Ben Taylor got pressure on that also and forced Hasselbeck to make the bad throw.
Looks like they're going to go for the 1st down on 4th down and 15 at the 25-yard line. It would be a very tough field goal under these wet and breezy conditions.
May have to call a timeout. Play clock's down to 2.
They snap it at 1. Here comes the rush, and he's buried by Bird. The 4th sack for Virginia Tech comes to the 31-yard line.
Sean, Tim Hasselbeck should have called a timeout there. I mean, the play clock's running down. You're under duress. You're trying to get the play snapped. He had no idea the blitz was coming because he was just trying to get the snap. I mean, here's the blitz coming from here, and he's stomping his foot trying to get the snap. Knowing the play clock is running down, had no idea where the blitz was coming from, couldn't get rid of the football. 4th down play, it's a critical play. Call timeout, go to the sideline, make sure everybody's on the same page.
So the Hokies take over on downs early in the 2nd quarter, leading 7-0.
André Davis.
Vick's going deep for Davis. He has a step. He has the ball. He has a touchdown. "69 yards. He beat Ramon Johnson, and it's 13-0 Hokies.
I love the call by Ricky Bussell. Your defense just makes a huge stop on 4th down. They've got to be a little deflated. Go for your big play guy. Get him in the ball game. And Michael Vick, I don't care if he's a freshman or senior, throws the deep ball as well as anybody in America. I mean, he throws it up there with good touch, good height, and lets those guys run under it.
And the extra point up and good by Shane Graham.
Let's go, everybody back home. This is how we do it.
Another big play. Vick to Davis. Davis averages more than 26 yards per catch this year. 14-0 Hokies.
With Transamerica Investments and Insurance Products, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to be financially successful. The people in the pyramid working for you.
We've got a couple nice SUVs, a new convertible, some minivans.
The crooks hide the cars behind boxes and smuggle them out of the country. You can be out here all day and not find one. One day we got 17. By making it hard for car thieves to do business, we're making it cheaper for you to do business with us. You're in good hands with Allstate. Mine.
Well, all right. Tailor-made Energel ball. Explosive distance, soft feel. I found them online and at 25 retail stores.
StoreRunner.com has shopping experts in every conceivable field, like Mark Anderson in sporting goods.
Ooh, Dunlop double titanium ball and a Callaway Hawkeye titanium driver. Am I right?
StoreRunner.com. Log on, let's shop.
At Transamerica, we have insurance products and investments for retirement that'll help you plan for your next career. The people in the pyramid, working for you.
The government built him to be the ultimate fighting machine. But does he have the strength to resist temptation? All new now and again, CBS Tonight.
Oh, everybody home in this, you know what's up, Mom, Dad? Hope y'all had a happy Thanksgiving.
Well, André Davis making it a happy Thanksgiving for the folks back in Niskayuna, New York. His 8th touchdown reception of the season. He now has 869 receiving yards this season. That's a Virginia Tech single season record. The BC down 14-0 for the second week in a row on the road. But they're playing a much tougher foe this week in Virginia Tech than they faced in South Bend against Notre Dame last week. Jimmy Kibble's kickoff down to DeJuan Daniels. And he runs over a would-be tackler and goes out to the 27-yard line where Chris Krebs made the tackle for Tech.
Sean, I want you to watch two things on this. First, watch how quickly André Davis makes up that ground, and then watch the angle taken by free safety Pedro Cecino. Davis is on Johnson in a heartbeat. And then watch the angle right here, a bad angle to André Davis. No way he can get over there and help his corner as André Davis just blisters both of them, runs right by both of the defenders.
Well, as the BC program continues to recruit and improve, one area they're going to need to improve on is speed in the secondary.
If you don't have the speed, you got to take good angle, and Sereno took a poor angle there.
Washington, a good angle, and close to a first down out of the 36-yard line. Tonight on CBS, international superstar Ricky Martin takes New York by storm in his first ever network special. It guest stars Jose Feliciano and Carlos Santana. Ricky Martin, one night only, tonight on CBS.
One of your favorites.
I was going to say, I knew you'd be watching. You beat me to the punch there. Well, we'll be on our way down to Miami. We'll have to tape that. We'll be ready for the Syracuse-Miami game tomorrow here on CBS. It has been one-sided, although BC has had a couple of penetrations deep into Tech territory without scoring. And Washington's run did yield the first down.
Last year when they played this game up in Chestnut Hill, it was a steady downpour, and the Hokies won 17-0, and Boston College outgained Virginia Tech in that ball game. Mike Cloud ran for 186 yards, but turnovers really did in Boston College in that game. A couple block punts as well. This is a much better Virginia Tech offense, though, than they faced last year. Nick Sorensen was the quarterback last year.
Hasselbeck on 1st and 10. Good protection from the line. Pass incomplete. Looking for Derek Crittenden. Roniel Whitaker, a backup cornerback, had the coverage. There's Whitaker. He and Larry Austin, the two backup corners, have been playing better in recent weeks. That's allowed them to move Midget from corner to safety, and it's made their whole secondary better.
Well, Anthony Midget makes a lot of plays, whether he's at corner or safety. This makes them a little better with him in the middle and Sorensen not at free safety, because the safeties have to cover a lot in this defense.
Pass over the middle, caught. Again, it's the tight end Bryant Arndt, tackled by Anthony Midget, now at his safety spot after starting the game at corner. Arndt short of a first down at the 42. Brian Art's a senior from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Caught 6 passes earlier this year against Pitt. That made him very happy. He's had a clipping in his locker for the last 3 years, a quote from Pitt coach Walt Harris, who said that basically there aren't as many hard-nosed football types in the Pittsburgh area anymore since the steel mills closed down. Arndt said he wanted to prove Coach Harris wrong. Had 6 catches in that game. That pass broken up. Was very close to early contact, but the officials say no. Whitaker broke it up, intended for Jamal Burke, and BC will punt.
Normally you see a veteran corner get away with that contact, but in this case, a redshirt freshman, Whitaker, he read the play, made a nice break on the football, but did look like he may have bumped the receiver a little early.
Ricky Hall back for the punt from Kevin McMiler out of Plano, Texas. And if that's against Virginia Tech, it should give BC a first down. It's 4th down and 3.
Well, Corey Moore is acting like he was drawn off sides, but the Boston College applauding, the offense coming back on the field.
Prior to the snap, offsides on the defense, 5-yard penalty, down.
They call this the pride and joy of the Virginia Tech special teams, their punt rush, and Corey Moore right over the center, just guessing on the count. Obviously not watching the football, and a good break for the Eagles.
Well, the offense back on the field and in business at their own 47-yard line. 1st and 10. 12 minutes remaining in the first half. 2 tight ends in the game. Washington the lone back. Hasselbeck the keeper. He took a good pop from the linebacker Ben Taylor, the sophomore from Bel Air, Ohio. Came out of a terrific high school program at Bel Air in Ohio. His high school team was 35-3 during his varsity career.
Virginia Tech does a nice job playing the option. Alford gets a good block on Hawks, but again, the speed of Ben Taylor, and you know, it helps to defend an option when you have to face it with your own team. I mean, they see it all summer from Michael Vick and the Virginia Tech offense. Makes it much easier to prepare to stop the option from an opponent.
Out of the gun on 2nd and 7 from midfield. The pass too high for Jamal Burke. Hasselbeck's been looking in Burke's direction more frequently in recent weeks as Jamal, a redshirt freshman from Brockton, Massachusetts, has been blossoming.
Well, the Eagle receivers are having a little trouble with the press coverage right now with Virginia Tech. Burke not able to get cleanly out of that break, and an out route, that's a timing route. Hasselbeck is set, ready to throw the football, and the timing being altered a little bit by the bump and run coverage.
Hasselbeck has been sacked 4 times. You'd expect him to be coming after him again here on 3rd down and 7. They bring the safety blitz. He put it up for grabs over the middle for Dedrick Dewalt. And the pass fell incomplete. They had the safety coming again, Corey Bird, who's already been in on 2 sacks.
Sean, they baited Hasselbeck here. The blitz is going to come from outside, but watch in here, the defensive tackles are going to drop into coverage. It's a zone blitz. The pressure comes outside. Hasselbeck thinks he's got to get rid of the ball early, but he almost threw an interception because those defenders had dropped off into coverage. Nice design blitz by Bud Foster.
There's the defensive tackle, David Pugh, who knocked it down. Myers on the punt again. He handles a low snap and puts it high but short. Makes a good BC bounce. And be down at the 14-yard line by the snapper, Brian Arndt, a 36-yard punt. CBS Sports coverage of the Home Depot College football will continue after this word from your local station.
For the King of Queens,
the address is CBS.
It's a new era at Toyota with great new values just in time for Thanksgiving. Values like Toyota Camry. Buy any Camry sedan and save with low 5.9% APR financing. There's options package savings up to $1,000. Or lease your Camry now for 36 months for just $229 a month with $23.84 due at signing. You get America's best-selling car, well equipped. And come see Camry Solara. It's just for you. Toyota's Thanksgiving sales event at your Toyota dealer now.
This year, give him a gift worth remembering. A Rolex from Fink's Jewelers, the most prestigious timepiece known the world over for its unmatched craftsmanship. Fink's, your authorized Rolex jeweler and Virginia's finest since 1930. This year, give her a gift worth remembering. Face each day with a new attitude. The new Rolex 31mm midsize from Fink's. Fink's Jewelers and Rolex, making all of her holiday wishes come true.
It slammed headlong into conventional wisdom. It stamped the terms V10 and Magnum power indelibly on the face of truckdom. It kicked open the door to the next generation of pickups and made such an impression that today, this is all you have to see to know what's behind it. Dodge Ram. Different.
The Patriots and Bills, Sunday at 1 on your hometown station.
Tonight on CBS, the government built him to be the ultimate fighting machine. But does he have the strength to resist temptation? An all-new Now and Again Friday on CBS. That's tonight. And this afternoon here on CBS, the Home Depot College football. Virginia Tech leading BC 14-0 early in the second quarter. André Davis on the sideline at the start of this possession. He caught a 69-yard touchdown pass the last time Tech had the ball. This Hokie drive begins at its own 14-yard line. Michael Vick has rushed for 55 yards and thrown for 100. 3 out of 4 passing. They gave the ball to Chiron Stith. Antonio Garay made the tackle. Time now for our Sun America virtual playbook.
Well, we've seen Michael Vick run on the scrambles. We've seen him on the option. They also do a quarterback draw that's kind of unique. They try to spread the field with 4 wide receivers, fake underneath to the running back to get the defense moving one way, and it's a designed quarterback draw with Michael Vick using his talents as a runner. 134 yards rushing last week. Sean, you just mentioned 55 today.
2nd and 5. Stith again. Powerful run for a first down out to the 27-yard line, where Marco Williams made the tackle.
Chris Hovan is the spiritual, emotional leader of this Boston College defense. He's playing as a defensive end this year. Really 2 guys assigned to him there. The fullback finished him off after the tight end kind of nudged him on the way out. Played nose guard last year and moved around some. Now he's at end and moves inside some. He is certainly the heart of the defense.
And a terrific player. Ferguson, the ball carrier, for very little out to the 30. Hovan's a senior from Rocky River, Ohio. And he was just finishing up his freshman year when all the controversy hit the BC program. He admitted he thought about leaving, transferring somewhere else, but he said his parents convinced him that he had made a commitment and he should ride through the tough times and learn a good life lesson. And he gives all the credit to Tom O'Brien.
Yep. Thinks very highly of Tom O'Brien. Came from a great high school program, St. Ignatius up in Cleveland. Good football player.
A state championship team there. Stith into the secondary with a first down. All the way out to the 46. Frank Chamberlain, the linebacker, made the tackle. Gain of 16. First down, Hokies.
You want to get to the perimeter, you've got to get some blocks outside. Take a look at the fullback, Ferguson, as he leads Stith on the outside. Here he is right here. Great block on George White, the safety. Just throws him to the outside and allows Stith to turn it up inside his block for a big gain.
56 yards rushing for Stith. Hokies on the move again, leading 14-0, but with margin of victory factored into the BCS formula. There is incentive to pour it on. Of course, it's much too early to think about this as pouring it on. They want to score as many as they can. Flag down.
Michael Vick was trying to change the play, and that's a long time for offensive linemen to stay in their snap. I mean, those are big guys.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
They're up there. They want to run the football. They want to fire off the football, and they're down there in that 3-point stance. That's a long time to ask them to to hold in there, and that time they went back 5 yards.
I'm looking at these two coaches who undoubtedly will be the two leading candidates for Big East Coach of the Year.
Right.
But they're both going to get votes for the National Coach of the Year as well. And deservedly so.
They've both done a fantastic job. I'm really impressed with how Frank Beamer has kept this team focused. I mean, they've gotten more attention this year than ever. You know, here in Blacksburg, ESPN Game Day's been here, Sports Illustrated, everybody's been here. He's kept them about their business.
Vick rolls out, flicks to a wide open Davis. Here he goes again. Touchdown.
Sean, this throw just isn't supposed to be able to be made. Michael Vick rolling to his left, throwing back to the middle of the field with the flick of the wrist. You just aren't supposed to be able to make that play. André Davis, he gets his name in the paper and he uses his speed and again runs by the free safety and the corner. But the reason the defenders were frozen is there's no way they expected Michael Vick to be able to make that throw.
Well, they should know, because if you've watched film, and obviously they have seen plenty of tape on Virginia Tech, he's made a lot of throws like that one. That one, a 59-yard touchdown pass, 3 catches for 138 yards and 2 touchdowns for Davis. And Virginia Tech has opened up a 21-0 lead with 9:12 still remaining in the first half.
Hey.
This is for those ready to hit the road.
Hit the road. This is for the long way home. This
is for those who want to widen their horizons. This is for the passing lane. This is for right now.
Right now.
Hit the road for 2.9% APR financing, and you can get average finance savings of up to $16.18 on a 2000 Grand Prix GT.
This is for me.
For me.
Hit the road for Pontiac driving excitement.
This is for me.
When your children are ready for college, will your college fund be ready for them? Prudential can help you be sure. Millions of parents plan for their children's education with the guidance of a Prudential professional. Talk with Prudential so you'll be ready when the first tuition bill arrives, whether it's a long way off or just around the corner.
Hey! What are you doing? This movie is terrible. Don't you like science fiction? There is a science fiction marathon on right now. You need Web TV to remind you of your favorite shows.
Tim Brando in New York. Coming up on the AXA Halftime Report, Spencer and I will get you caught up on all the scores and highlights, including the emotional meeting between Texas and Texas A&M. Matt Baumgartner's catch sealed the deal. An upset win for the Aggies. Now back to your game.
Well, everybody at the Virginia Tech football program is involved in the weight training operation, including the mascot, pumping iron for each point. 21 points, 2 touchdown catches for André Davis, giving him 9 for the season, tying Antonio Freeman's single-season record set in 1993. Of course, he's gone on to a terrific career in the NFL with the Packers. Jimmy Kibble kicks off. Taken by William Green, the true freshman, running back. Excellent run back all the way to the 39-yard line.
Sean, let's look at this touchdown again. Now, Pedro Serino right here is going to really misplay this, because it doesn't matter how much film he's watched of Michael Vick. There is no way that he thinks Vick can make this throw. He's rolling left, he's looking to the sideline, and then with the flick of the wrist, back all the way across his body to a wide open André Davis. Poorly played by the free safety, but a freaky kind of play and throw by Michael Vick.
That is adding to his single-season yardage record. Brian St. Pierre's in at quarterback. They do this regularly at BC. It's not because of the score or any ineffectiveness on the part of the offense. St. Pierre always comes in the second quarter.
Right guard moved.
And St. Pierre will be operating with 1st and 15. Brian's a redshirt freshman from Danvers, Massachusetts.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
I think that's the third one of those that we've seen so far in the first half for Boston College. A new guard in there, Dan Coppin, one of the guys that like to rotate on the inside. And he was the one who moved early. New quarterback, new right guard, 1st and 15.
The numbers for St. Pierre come off the bench in every game but one. He started the game against Pittsburgh when Hasselbeck had a sore shoulder, but St. Pierre was hurt in that game, and Hasselbeck came back in to lead them to a come-from-behind win. Like Hasselbeck, St. Pierre good at running the ball, and he advanced out to the 41-yard line where Michael Hawks and Corey Bird made the tackle, and Nebraska's margin now 21. Same lead that Virginia Tech has here.
Everybody's paying attention to that score, but for the astute Hokie fans, the other score that means a lot to them today is Texas A&M beating Texas, because ultimately that helps the Hokies too, with Nebraska going to play Texas in the Big 12 championship game.
The gun on 2nd down, the quick throw, and Arndt couldn't come up with the catch. St. Pierre got rid of it quickly under some heat. Here's Michelle.
Well, Sean and Todd, the rain has stopped for now, but the wind has become a major factor down here at the field level. The wind is incredible. The gusts are very strong. They are unpredictable. It can be still one moment and incredibly windy the next. And there are times you can look up at these stadium flags, and 2 different flags will be blowing in 2 different directions. And as we all know, the wind can have its own implications, guys.
Indeed. Thank you, Michelle.
Tough for the hair for Michelle.
Take it easy on the hair comments, would you? I thought you were going to continue down the road. Here comes the blitz again. St. Pierre had it knocked out of his hand, and they ruled that an incomplete pass. David Pugh stuck a hand in and sent that ball sideways toward the sideline.
David Pugh makes a lot of plays. I mean, this guy has 4 sacks on the year, a couple forced fumbles. Here he's getting his hand around the football. He's ruled it incomplete, but close to being a fumble. One of those backup defensive tackles who will be a mainstay next year, a sophomore, playing really well.
Here's Kevin McMyler to punt again. Everything going the way of the Hokies. Low snap. McMyler did a great job to field it and to get the kickoff. Low line drive punt. Fielded on the bounce by Ricky Hall. He wishes he had just let that one roll dead now. 35-yard punt. Marco Williams delivered the hit to Hall. Mike Guazzo also in on the coverage on special teams for Boston College.
Mike has never bought me any jewelry except for my wedding ring. He got my car detailed once.
And that brought her to tears. When it's time to get the girl in your life something special.
We just had a baby.
Say hi, Nina.
The last month of my pregnancy, I was a blimp, and it was not feeling very attractive.
Walmart jewelry probably has just what you're looking for.
One day he comes in and hands me this box, and he says it's a birthstone ring.
At an everyday low price.
I said, honey, it's beautiful, but it's not my birthstone. He said, I know. It's Nina's.
Walmart jewelry. Special gifts for special girls.
Why do I have Aflac insurance on top of my regular health insurance? Because he has his mother's eyes. Because I still have to teach him to whistle. And because Aflac helps cover what other insurance doesn't. If I'm injured, Aflac even provides cash to help pay bills. So why do I have Aflac? Did I mention he has his mother's eyes? Aflac supplemental insurance. Without it, no insurance is complete.
The new Gateway Profile 2 PC. With the computer and monitor in one, it fits neatly on your desk. Which leaves plenty of room underneath it. Featuring the Intel Celeron processor. Call 1-800-GATEWAY.
It might make sense to you, but it didn't to 60 Minutes, that the Army ruled this captain's death a suicide and not a murder. That story, Sunday.
A Virginia Tech defense pitching a shutout. Michael Vick has led this explosive offense to 21 points, and it's time for our Aflac trivia question, which is, who were the last 2 freshman quarterbacks to win the national championship? ponder that one. From the 25, 1st and 10 Hokies.
And give them a hint. One was an option guy and one was a thrower.
You know the answer. Andre Kendrick. Out to the 28, a pickup of 3. Jonathan Ordway chopped him down. Kendrick's a junior from Lynchburg, Virginia. Was a quarterback in high school at EC Glass. Passed for more than 4,000 yards.
Came here as a defensive back. I mean, just a great athlete that Frank Beamer wanted on his team, and he has really filled in nicely as the second tailback here. Made a lot of big plays.
Out of the gun on 2nd down. Vick sidesteps the rush. Here he goes. Out of bounds at the 50-yard line. That's a gain of 22 for Vick.
About Michael Vick. Instinctively, he does some remarkable things. Hovan is going to have him dead to rights. No, not today. Michael Vick eludes Hovan, the best player on BC's defense, and turns what should have been a 5-yard loss into a big first down. I mean, he just does some things by instinct. You can't coach, you can't teach, and obviously you can't defend.
And the secondary is making most of the tackles. It can be a long day. Vick has rushed for 77 yards now on 6 carries. Flag down before the snap from midfield. Midway through the second quarter, 21-0 Hokies.
Illegal snap by the offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
We were talking to Al Golden, the linebacker coach, before the game for Boston College. He said, you know, we thought that we wouldn't see another guy like Donovan McNabb for at least a decade. But now Michael Vick, 1 year later, and maybe at this point as a freshman, better than Donovan McNabb, certainly faster.
There's Al Golden, terrific young coach, one of the rising young assistant coaches in the country, great recruiter. He's largely responsible for the terrific classes that BC has brought in here in the last 2 years. 68% of the players on their roster are freshmen or sophomores. Jonathan Ordway cut down Kendrick at the 50-yard line. And Al Golden largely responsible. He brought in 8 players from the recruiting class himself last year, guys that he recruited. Particular success in the state of New Jersey.
Yeah, very young, energetic guy. Single too, so he can spend a lot of time on the road. Doesn't have to worry about getting home to mama.
Second down and 10. Run by Kendrick, got the penalty yardage back. Quick pass. Ricky Hall bounces off a hit and goes down just short of the first down, about 2 yards shy at the 42-yard line of Boston College. Well, that has been a regular comparison, the one made by Al Golden, comparing Vick to Donovan McNabb, the numbers from the freshman season for each. I think at this stage of his development, Vick is more impressive, which seems strange to say with the great career that Donovan had.
Yeah, Donovan's numbers better, but Michael Vick, I think, more dangerous at this point. And like I said, certainly faster and capable of making more big plays as a runner.
And with incredible arm strength, the ability to throw on the run with just a flick of the wrist. Third down and short, and they get the first down yardage with Kendrick. Across the 40 and down at the 38-yard line. So the Hokies continue to move the chains. Coming up at halftime, the AXA halftime report. Tim and Spencer with scores and highlights, and the story of Sam Panino, a story that you will not want to miss. He is an incredible profile in courage. Vick take to the fullback, and he gets sent head over heels by George White. But Michael's close to another first down at the 29-yard line. He's approaching 100 yards rushing here in the first half.
Sean, we talked about Michael Vick not playing very well for the whole game last week. And one of the reasons, his head just wasn't there. Ricky Bussell said his wristband, he left it in the locker room before the game last week. Just didn't even start the game with his mind right, and never was able to kind of find the right button to push to get him in the right frame of mind. Made big plays, but didn't play particularly well from an efficiency standpoint. Today he's got that wristband right where it belongs, and he has been very, very efficient and capable of making the big plays. It's hard to imagine him still being a freshman. I mean, I know he dressed with the team and traveled with the team last year, but he's still seeing things as a player for the first time. I mean, he's still learning on the job, and he's getting better and better.
87 yards rushing today on 7 carries. He set the tone in the very first possession of the game. With a long run that got them out of bad field position. Kendrick, a good bounce to the outside. Flag down. Kendrick down to the 21. Pedro Sereno with help from Ramon Johnson.
It's got to be a holding against Virginia Tech. Set them back.
Well, last week up at Veterans Stadium against Temple, Vick. 2 incredible runs by Vick. On the day when he wasn't totally into it mentally, he had a 75-yard touchdown run and a 53-yard scamper for a touchdown to lead them to their 62-7 win.
Well, even on that long touchdown run, they lined up in a formation because he had the wrong wristband on that ideally they wouldn't have called for him. He's a left-hander. They would have wanted him to bootleg and roll left. He had him rolling right. Didn't matter. Still turned it into a 75-yard touchdown. But
and he borrowed one of the backup quarterbacks' wristband, who was right-handed, and that wristband was made for him. And I don't know how it messed up the way the plays are listed, but it did. The formation was wrong, but the result was great. Back at the 39-yard line of BC now, looking at first down and 20. Vick forced to pitch it quickly. Kendrick gets a terrific block from Cullen Hawkins, the fullback. There's a flag down back where Vick was tangled up.
Yeah, Chris Hovan. He just got frustrated. You know, he's missed him a couple times. He was assigned to the quarterback on this option, and he just vented a little bit. He just took some from frustration out on Michael Vick. Hovan is responsible for the quarterback, so he's going to come down and force the pitch, and then after the pitch, he's just going to say, you know, you've just been too slippery today. I've got to get you on the ground one way or another. 15 yards against it.
And the BC coaches take Hovan out. That's unlike Hovan.
Personal foul on the defense. Penalty is half the distance to the goal. First down.
They're 2 of the best players in the country at their positions, Vick and Hovan. Hovan on his way to being first team All Big East for the 3rd straight year. He'd be the first player in BC history to do that. And how about the face paint? You got that from John Randall in the NFL. Said he heard an interview. Randall said he liked to paint his face like that. It was his war paint. When he went on the field, he was going to war. That's the way Hovan looks at football. And that's why he's adopted the face paint.
It makes him look a lot meaner. I mean, without the face paint, he's got quite a baby face.
Kendrick on 1st and 10 from the 13. Tackled by Frank Chamberlain. 4.5 minutes left in the first half. Sean McDonough, Todd Blackledge, Michelle Tafoya at sold-out Lane Stadium in Blacksburg, Virginia. Virginia Tech Hokies ranked number 2 in the polls, number 2 in the BCS. Trying to maintain their working margin over on charging Nebraska in the BCS. And Tech leads 21-0. They've pretty well been in control of this game. They scored on a couple of long pass plays. And on 2nd down, Vick sent to the ground by Sean Guthrie, the backup defensive end. He's with the BCS standings entering today's action, but it's been Nebraska closing the ground every week, even though Virginia Tech has been winning every week.
And I still don't think it can happen. I mean, it's possible. I don't think it will happen. You see Nebraska at halftime with the comfortable lead over Colorado, but I mean, almost 5 or 6 of the computers would have to end up putting Nebraska ahead of Virginia Tech. It's just unlikely that that's going to be the case.
10th play of this drive. Here comes the blitz, and they get to Vick. Looked like he might have tripped over somebody's feet as he tried to start to get away from the rush. Scott Bradley and Jerome Ledbetter, a couple of blitzing linebackers, will be credited with a sack. Polls are open. We invite you to vote for the most memorable moment of the century in the CBS Sportsline College Football Millennium Poll. Just click on NCAA football at cbs.sportsline.com. Or on America Online, enter keyword CBS Sportsline. Vick limping off just a little bit as Shane Graham comes on to try a 40-yard field goal.
2 good plays in a row by the BC defense. First on the option, then on the sack.
And Graham, a terrific kicker, boots it through from 40, and the lead grows. It's now Virginia Tech 24 and Boston College nothing.
As you might expect, Teller and I don't see eye to eye on investing. I like to avoid risk. Teller's a little more daring. We do, however, share the same new way to trade online.
Introducing Power Street by Fidelity, the first site with trading tools customized by Lycos to fit your unique way of doing things.
Look, the market's up, or in your case, down.
Power Street Online Trading. To find out how you could win free trades for life, visit Fidelity.com.
And now, the Fidelity Mentors of the Game.
My mentor is my high school coach, Tommy Raymond. You know, he kind of took me under his wings, you know, when I was young, you know, and, you know, he just guided me through life and through high school. He did a lot of things for me over the course of my high school years, and we shared a lot of experiences together. You know, we went through hard times, good times, bad times, you know, back in high school. You know, and he taught me a lot about life.
Superstar Ricky Martin takes New York by storm, and CBS has his first ever network special. Ricky Martin, CBS tonight.
Back in Blacksburg, Virginia Tech leads 24-0. Shane Graham with 6 points today. 3 on the field goal a moment ago. He now has 105 points for the season, breaking his own single-season Virginia Tech scoring record. Jimmy Kibble kicks off. Drives it into the end zone. Juwan Daniels, why not take a chance? Down by 24. And Daniels tackled from behind at the 26-yard line. A late flag thrown in. Daniels returned 100 yards for a touchdown the first play of the game at Syracuse to help spark BC to their upset win against the Orangemen. Illegal block against the Eagles. Sean Witten made the tackle. And there's Shane Graham breaking his own single-season point record at Virginia Tech. Also in a battle with Nate Trout of Syracuse to be the all-time leading scorer in Big East history. Graham has the lead right now. Trout will be in action tomorrow in Miami.
On the return, penalty is half the distance to the goal. First down.
Frank Beamer talks about, you know, everybody knows about their special teams, their ability to block kicks and return kicks, but he thinks his 2 kickers, that combination of Kibble and Graham, the best in the country and the best that he's had in a long time. They're both very steady guys. I can't think of a better tandem than the teams we've seen.
Hasselbeck back at quarterback. Corey Moore penetrating the backfield. Cedric Washington stumbling for no gain. Time to answer the Aflac trivia question. Todd gave you a clue. Very nice of you. You're in the holiday spirit. You usually don't do that. Jamel Holloway and Bernie Kosar, the last freshman quarterbacks to win the national title, and Michael Vick trying to add to that list.
Right now, Tom O'Brien just hoping that clock just keeps running fast. He doesn't want anything bad to happen to his team right here. They're already in a huge hole.
And a broken play. And a late flag thrown. I think the official on the outside is calling that delay of game. Boy, it looked like, watching on our monitor, there was a second on the play clock, and the ball was snapped, but they are stopping the play. The play didn't count. And Tom O'Brien glad it didn't.
Prior to the snap, there was delay of game by the offense. Penalty is half the distance to the goal. Remains second down.
Both teams a short week this week, having played last Saturday. It's seemed to be taking more of an effect on Boston College. On the road, an emotional win over Notre Dame, playing on Friday. Virginia Tech a little easier go of it up at the Vet against Temple. Lack of focus, if there is, for either team. I think BC a little more out of it today, obviously, than the Hokies.
On Second and 16. Dedrick Washington breaks into the secondary. And rumbles all the way out to the 33-yard line. Mike Charlton made the tackle. 29 yards on the run for the junior from Holyoke, Massachusetts, in the western part of the great Commonwealth.
Nice cutback by Washington. Again, an aggressive, over-pursuing defense, susceptible to cutbacks. Ben Taylor missed a tackle at the point of attack, and a good open field run by Cedric Washington.
Cedric, the all-time leading rusher in Massachusetts high school history, and Doug Bissett was on this team as a backup safety. He was number 2 all-time. Bryant Arndt, the reception to the 38. Now let's see with field position if BC tries to get something done, and it will, as Hasselbeck called a timeout with 58 seconds left in the half. We're chatting with running backs coach Jason Swepson with the headset on.
You are in the fight of your life. Just you against your smoking addiction, one-on-one. Trouble is, it's not a fair fight, and few people win it. But you can give yourself a fighting chance to win with Zyban. Zyban doesn't work for everyone. Zyban is part of a comprehensive program from your doctor to help you stop smoking. It's different from nicotine replacements. Zyban is the only prescription medicine that's nicotine-free, so you don't have to stop smoking all at once. As Zyban reduces your cravings, you feel like smoking less and less until you're ready to stop completely because you're ready to win. You should know there is a risk of seizure associated with Zyban. To reduce the risk, don't take Zyban if you have or have had a seizure or eating disorder, or if you take Wellbutrin. Don't take Zyban if you use an MAO inhibitor. Side effects may include dry mouth and difficulty sleeping. Ask your doctor if Zyban is right for you, because it can help you quit smoking by making it a fight you can win. Zyban, you don't have to quit all at once.
James Garner and Julie Andrews in a heartwarming holiday romance.
Do you believe in second chances?
I only believe in what I see.
One Special Night, CBS Sunday.
Back in Blacksburg, less than a minute till halftime in the ACTA halftime report. BC trying to get on the board. Eagles operating from their own 38-yard line. Second down and 4 after the timeout. Hasselbeck a quarterback draw on a first down. Play run very successfully by BC last week against Notre Dame.
Nice time to call that, too. They anticipated that outside pressure where the defensive linemen drop off, and that's exactly what they got. So they actually ran the play right to the area vacated by those defensive linemen dropping into cover.
Out of the shotgun, just a 4-man rush. Hasselbeck throws it away. And a flag thrown for grounding. John Engelberger had him. Hasselbeck pleading his case. It was the referee, Dennis Hennigan, behind Tim Hasselbeck, who threw the flag. Engelberger, a senior from Springfield, Virginia, former walk-on at 215 pounds. Now an All-American candidate at better than 260.
Yeah, Alford was doing a pretty good job on Engelberger, but as soon as Hasselbeck left the pocket, Alford didn't know where his quarterback was and lost his man. And, you know, a lot of times when there's a quarterback sack, it always falls on the offensive lineman. But the quarterback is just as responsible. That time, Tim Hasselbeck could have avoided the sack by throwing the ball away earlier.
Engelberger surprised many in these parts at media day before the season started when he spoke with the media for the first time in more than 2 years. They used to call him silent but violent. That's what Corey Moore dubbed him during his period of not speaking to the media. And a tackle made by Engelberger again. He'll have plenty to talk about with the media after the game. He said, I still don't like the media. Usually athletes get a little older before they work up that much of a disdain, but he says he doesn't like the fact that members of the media build players up who aren't that good and make them good.
Well, he is good, and Bud Foster knows he's good. He also
don't say that, though. You're not entitled to your opinion about whether he's good or not.
He does talk about football or fishing or playing cards. If you get him on one of those three subjects, he'll have a conversation with you.
Washington back out to the 45, but that grounding penalty killed any chance that they had of points before halftime. We've reached the half. Number 2, Virginia Tech needs an impressive performance. And right now, They are turning in one, 24-0 over the 20th ranked team in the nation, Boston College. Here's Michelle with Frank Beamer.
All right, Sean, thanks very much. Well, Boston College has managed to move the football, yet you've held them scoreless 24-0. What's been so key on defense?
Well, I think the fact that they haven't gone on the scoreboard, you know, it's okay to pick up a few yards. Just keep that 0 up there, and we're in good shape. And then our offense has hit some big plays, but this thing's half done right now. We need to get in here and have a good second half.
Well, it's been said that Michael Vick plays like he practices and that he had a great week in practice. Is this what you expected?
Yeah, he did have a great week, and he's playing very well right now.
Coach, good luck.
Thank you.
Sean, back to you.
Frank Beamer said this is the most important game in the history of Virginia Tech football. It is half complete, and his team leads 24-0. The big play capability demonstrated by the Hokies. 2 long touchdown passes in the first half. Michael Vick to André Davis, 69-yarder, the first. Score at halftime, 24-0 Virginia Tech. Now let's go to Tim Brando and Spencer Tillman in New York.
Coming up on the AXA Halftime Report, Spencer Tillman and I will have all the scores and highlights, plus the inspirational story of Sam Panino, who's standing tall despite a career-ending injury. After this.
Catch Ricky Martin in his first ever network special, CBS Tonight.
If you could pick your next car payment, you'd be a happy camper, right?
Yes! Well, you can do exactly that this week in the Duncan Automotive Network.
At Duncan Ford Mazda in Blacksburg.
New Ford Focus or Mazda Proteges are only $159 a month.
$279 a month on a 2000 Ford Contour.
Pick a payment. Pick a car with no monthly payments till the next century.
This week at Duncan Ford Mazda, Route 460 South in Blacksburg.
A proud member of the Duncan Automotive Network.
Over the years, a lot of businesses have put their names on one line of trucks, the one that offers the most powerful V10, the one that was first to offer quad cab versatility, and the longest lasting full-size pickup on the road. We understand this name thing. We're pretty fussy about what we put ours on, too. Dodge Ram. Different.
A live post-game show from Tech tonight on WDBJ7.
The AXA Halftime Report is sponsored by AXA Advisors.
Hello, everyone. I'm Tim Brando, and welcome to the AXA Halftime Report. With the score in Blacksburg, the Hokies leading the Eagles 24-0. I'm joined by Spencer Tillman. It's obvious, Spencer, they know this is their last chance to impress. They have no Big East title game.
That's right. Everyone knows this. We're talking about their counterparts, a team that's standing, hovering over the Hokies right now in Nebraska. They took them 15 seconds to score. Vatek understands this as well. Their defense is stepping it up. They're playing exceptionally well as well. Michael Vick is just tearing them up. They know what they have to do.
Absolutely. Well, it has been an emotional week in College Station as the Texas A&M campus tries to recover from the bonfire collapse that killed 12. Last night, instead of a roaring bonfire, A&M held a candlelight vigil in tribute to the victims. This morning before the game against Texas, the crowd of 85,000 at Kyle Field held a moment of silence. The Aggies players paid their own tribute on the field, and Air Force jets piloted by A&M alumni flew over the stadium in the missing man formation as the school anticipated the big rivalry against the Horns. And boy, what they saw was inspirational. And they played some power football, Spencer.
Nothing more dangerous than a team with a cause. Jamar Toombs just banging his way in from 3 yards out. The Aggies would botch the point after the Longhorns would convert. And at 2 points, then the Longhorns come storming back with Hodges Mitchell's dancing his way 14 yards for the touchdown all year long. This guy has been a consistent replacement for that other guy that won the Heisman last year, Mr. Williams. Then the Aggies rally in the fourth. Randy McCown connecting with his wideout. That's Matt Baumgartner for a big touchdown there. And you know what they're doing then. They're firing those cannons, boy.
Very important game. Very important game for a number of reasons. 20-16, the final. Here's the reason why. Nebraska loading up on Colorado at halftime, 24-3 the score. Now understand this, the A&M victory over Texas clearly is an advantage for Virginia Tech, because if Nebraska beats Texas in a rematch, those computers know that A&M beat Texas too.
As we said earlier, right now, Nebraska's in a good situation. It may have been hampered a little bit by what A&M did to Texas, but the key is they've got to continue to play. The only thing they can do is score more points to affect the outcome in the rankings.
Jerry DiNardo out as LSU's head football coach. Hey, we're a little loose. Let both quarterbacks go at it. That's what they've done today. Interim head coach Hal Hunter, a one-hit wonder, Hal Hunter.
He's a hit because he's doing something DiNardo wouldn't even think about doing, playing both of those quarterback, Davies and Booty. He's all over the place. I like his decision-making. Then when you give a chance, a guy, emotional edge, he goes in, he knows he's going to play, he's going to perform. He can make plays like this, particularly after the catch, getting vertical up the field. He has a reason to play. Right now, they're in a great situation right now. Couldn't snap that 8-game losing streak.
Yeah, that's right. Reggie Robinson getting that touchdown there. And Arkansas's Cotton Bowl hopes could be going up in smoke. Ohio University and Marshall, 34-3 thundering herd. Now remember, they have to play a MAC title game against Western Michigan before they play in the Motor City Bowl. Time now for the CBS Sportsline Millennium Poll. This week's category, greatest moment. Choices, California's Roy Regal's wrong way run in the 29 Rose Bowl. Another famous run by Cal. The 82 game-winning effort that ended with a dash through the Stanford band and the trombonist really took a hit. And the miraculous finish by Doug Flutie and Boston College, beating Miami in 85. Other choices you asked, Reg Grange ran for 5 touchdowns and threw for another against Michigan. Nebraska's Johnny Rogers and his 77-yard punt return in the Orange Bowl. And the play against Missouri that saved the Huskers championship 2 years ago. Remember, you can write in your own choice. AOL users can vote by entering keyword CBS Sportsline. The results will be announced at the Wells Fargo Sun Bowl on December 31st. When we come back, the inspirational story of Sam Panino, a player who never lost hope in the face of trying circumstances. That when the AXA halftime report continues. Obviously, Davis has been the #1 target of Michael Vick today as Virginia Tech tries to roll into the BCS.
The Home Depot is offering the skill drill for an incredibly low $19.77. You'll also find the skill jigsaw for an unbelievable price of just $19.77. And this skill finishing sander, you guessed it, just $19.77. Great tools at a great price. You'll find all 3 at the Home Depot. But you might want to hurry. Anyone with a workshop is going to want one.
Dandruff, scratching, itching. Introducing new Neutrogena T-Gel Stubborn Itch Control with cooling menthol you feel on contact. Unlike self-control, it works. Ask any dermatologist.
America Online introduces new version 5.0.
5.0 has a ton of new features.
You've got pictures is great.
5.0 is really easy.
There's just a wealth of things that you can only find on AOL. America Online new version 5.0. Sign up today.
Remember the colds you got when you were a kid?
Boy.
And your mom got out the Vapo Rub? How fast it calmed your cough, relieved your congestion? That's a comfort at any age.
Nothing feels better.
What some guys will go through to trim their beards. Instead, get the Remington Precision Beard and Mustache Trimmer. Designed like no other with 8 beard length settings and separate mustache and neckline trimmers, Precision guarantees it'll be perfectly easy, precisely right.
Mother Boyle and son Tim demonstrate their Columbia Parker's radial sleeves and zip-out liner. The Columbia Interchange System adapts to any outdoor situation.
car?
There's a whole new way to shop for a used car.
No, a convertible. A red one. With under 15,000 miles.
Introducing Autotrader.com. Over 1 million used cars updated daily make it the biggest, best used car site on the planet.
You couldn't help me with a loan, could you? Can we help you?
Autotrader.com. Your car is waiting.
I have never been so challenged in my entire life.
There is that Jesuit ideal there of learning just for the sake of learning and enriching yourself. The atmosphere is very, very vibrant and very up.
So I think that it's the sense of community.
When I have a BC sticker on my car, you know, people will pull up beside me and they'll beep and they'll wave because they went to BC and you go to BC and there's that bond there, even though you never met them before, which I think is something really wonderful.
We're not just like everybody else.
The AXA Halftime Report is sponsored by AXA Advisors.
Welcome back to the AXA Halftime Report. I'm Tim Brando. A reminder, tune in tomorrow for a college football doubleheader on CBS. It's Vanderbilt at 6th-ranked Tennessee at noon Eastern, followed at 3:30, Syracuse and Miami. That's coming up tomorrow right here on CBS. As we pause to give thanks during the holiday weekend, consider the case of UC Davis reserve running back Sam Panino. On September 11th, he had 114 yards and 2 touchdowns in an overtime win against Western Oregon, the best game of his career. But his last run of the day shattered that career while giving him a whole new outlook on life.
Looks like we have an injury on the field. Maybe Sam Panino. Looks like they're calling for a cart now, or actually an ambulance. Paramedics are rolling out the stretcher.
We were listening to the game, and Sam was doing so great. At one moment, we were jumping up and down, and the next moment, we hear someone's down, and they think it's Sam Panino, and our hearts just all were in our throats.
There certainly is a somber mood, and it is Sam Panino. Looks like he has his head is up. Some kind of brace on his right leg. Pretty hairy brace, too.
This was devastating.
The doctor told me in the hospital that I had severed my popliteal artery. After the 4th surgery, he had told me that there wasn't enough muscle to salvage my leg anymore, and that I had a couple, like 1 or 2 options, either to cut it off or try and keep it.
Before I went in to see him, I said a little prayer, and I just asked God to really help me so that I wouldn't, you know, fall apart. He just held my hand so tight, I thought he was going to break it. You just want to take your children's pain, but you can't. You can't do that.
80% of my muscle in my leg was gone. I didn't want to drag around a foot, so I told him to cut it off.
It didn't seem real to me. And the way that Sam treated this whole experience, I guess, it didn't seem real to me. He is so strong. He is so strong.
Life is too short to worry about foots. There's a million other people out there that are doing worse than me. And the minute they cut off my foot, I started moving on, you know. I want to rock climb, I want to surf. You know, the limits are endless because the prosthetics these days is just like having a regular foot. So, you know, anything's possible.
We've had some days where we've just sat and we've gone outside and we've just felt the wind on our face, and he's so thrilled. He'll say something funny and have me laughing hysterically till my, you know, sides hurt, and then I realize he's gonna be okay.
There's this one guy who had been diagnosed with cancer, and he said before he read my story he wasn't going to have treatment, and in reading my story he had decided to go to his treatment, and he said thanks for a second chance. It is an eye-opening experience that I wouldn't trade. I'm not going to trade it. I don't have a leg, so what? I got a lot more.
You know, Tim, I too, like Sam, was a running back, and so many times you often find yourself in a position where you can make the great play. And over the years, those memories start to fade a little bit, but the impact this young man has had on that team and himself, his family, that will live on forever.
Well, Sam, you're right. You do have a lot more, and we have a lot more having you around. The UC Davis team continues to draw inspiration from Sam's courage. The Aggies play tomorrow in the Division II quarterfinals. The AXA halftime report continues after this.
This is sacred ground. This ranch has been in the Stevens family for 75 years. I know. I've helped 3 generations hold on to it.
Tom Rose, AXA Advisors.
The only way to keep a business successful and in the family is with smart planning.
AXA Advisors, part of a global company helping 40 million people.
It's tough out here. The weather, beef prices, and there's an uncle named Sam who always gets his cut.
AXA Advisors, building futures.
AT&T, 7 cents a minute, all day, every day.
Take one of these. That'll be 25 cents.
But it says here it's a nickel.
Not for a couple of hours.
What?
Well, see, sometimes it's a nickel, but right now, it's a quarter.
It's like that long-distance nickel plan where they say it's a nickel.
Sometimes they charge you 25.
That's right.
That's where we got the idea.
Is that right?
7 cents a minute, all day, every day, even to Canada with our international plan.
You know, there are some stores that sell candy for one low price all day long.
And people like it?
Oh, they love it.
Call 1-800-41-RATE to enroll.
At Zales this Saturday and Sunday only, these dazzling $3.99 half-carat diamond earrings are now just $1.99. Now through Sunday only at Zales stores nationwide and Zales.com.
Now without a prescription, Lamisil AT for athlete's foot. So powerful, it cures with just 1 week's use. These take 4. So powerful, 3 months later, you're still athlete's foot free. Lamisil AT, the best way to cure athlete's foot.
Here's your regular internet homepage. And here's i1.com. You use it like Yahoo, Lycos, or other search engines. Only i1.com gives away $10,000 every day, $1 million a month, and $10 million on tax day. Which one would you choose?
Oh, I see. Someone's supposed to struggle with this, right? So let's bring out the blonde.
Just doing research.
I'll pick the one with all of the cash.
i1.com.
Yeah.
Introducing i1.com. Why wouldn't you?
Enter the hallway.
In the future, you'll be able to walk through buildings that don't exist. But it's happening now at Virginia Tech. Someday, these tobacco plants will save lives by producing new pharmaceuticals. It's happening now. Virginia Tech. Knowledge at work.
CBS Sports, the exclusive home of the NCAA Basketball Championship.
Back in Southwest Virginia at halftime, Virginia Tech leads Boston College 24-0. Tonight on CBS, Yasmin Bleeth is hot for Cheech Marin in his dreams. Now everyone is losing sleep, including Don Johnson. An all-new Nash Bridges tonight on CBS. Well, let's send you down to our production truck now, where they are never bashful, and here's a holiday message from our gang.
From our entire CBS Sports crew here in Blacksburg, Virginia, happy Thanksgiving. Hope you're all having a great holiday.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving.
Go Hokies. And Eagles.
Craig Silver, our producer, Bob Fishman, our director, and the rest of the camera shy gang. Back for the second half kickoff in a moment.
I have a couple who came in and had just so much cash and they were petrified. They wanted to retire and yet they weren't sure they could retire.
Katie Leibrand, AXA Advisors.
We took an inventory of all their assets and showed them they could achieve the income they were used to.
AXA Advisors, part of a global company helping 40 million people.
I'm helping others reach their goals. I just love to see things grow.
AXA Advisors, building futures.
Well, all right. Tailor-made Energel ball. Explosive distance, soft feel. I found them online and at 25 retail stores.
StoreRunner.com has shopping experts in every conceivable field, like Mark Anderson in sporting goods.
Ooh, Dunlop double titanium ball and a Callaway Hawkeye titanium driver. Am I right?
StoreRunner.com. Log on, let's shop.
Do you know how to drive? How to
say, hey, that's a foul in Japanese. Do you know where in the heavens to find a human voice? Where in your soul to find character? Do you know the shortest distance to a college degree is a straight line called discipline? Do you know how to walk it? Be all you can be.
Today I invited myself to help open gifts from the Pets.com gift center. Let me help. Let me help, Max. What is it? I can't wait. What is it, Iguana? Hey, Max, you're gonna give me a concussion. Uh-oh, mistletoe. Who wants to kiss a puppet? Max, be patient. I'll get you the meat. Okay, we'll just take 2 pieces of turkey over here. Thanks a lot. How could they do this to socks? Oh, no. The horror. This is the holidays. We should be sharing. Give it to me. Pets.com, because pets can't drive.
Can't get your car to turn over? Get over to Pep Boys for a new Pro Start battery. Whether you have a Jeep or Jaguar, a Buick or Blazer, Pep Boys has a new Pro Start starting at $44.99 that'll fit almost any car. And for a limited time, with any Pro Start Plus, Performance, International, or Premium battery, you'll get a $10 Pep Boys merchandise certificate good for just about anything in the store. So get things right and get going.
Pep Boys. Cars like us. People love us. This holiday, Office Max is making shopping easier than ever. Whether it's by fax, by phone, on the internet at OfficeMax.com, or the good old-fashioned way, by foot. Whichever way you choose, we go to the max for you.
Round 2. How would Georgia match up against Ball State?
Take me out to the ball game. I don't have that info.
Let's check out passing, scoring, total offense.
Whoa, how do you do that?
Well, with CBS Sportsline, you can match up any team in Division I and 1AA. Pick a team, any team.
CBS Sportsline, when you've got to know more.
The Virginia Tech Hokies perhaps taking another big step toward the Sugar Bowl, perhaps the final step in this, the last game of the regular season, leading BC 24-0. Short high kickoff by Jimmy Kibble. And the whistle sounding before the tackle was even made on Kevin Crane. Reserve defensive lineman handled a short kickoff. He might have signaled for a fair catch and then tried to advance it. But BC, Todd, needs to try to advance the ball with great regularity here in the second half, as the first half was dominated by Tech.
Yeah, they gained a few yards. They made a couple plays, but a couple penalties that set them back. And they're running into a great football team. I mean, this is a good, very good Virginia Tech team that is very focused about their business today. And Michael Vick continues to impress offensively in that first half. Only 5 pass completions, but for 167 yards and 2 touchdowns. So very difficult task for the Eagles in the second half.
Then Hasselbeck comes out throwing toward the far sideline. Too high for Dedrick Dewalt with Corey Bird in coverage. A moment ago, Michelle spoke with Tom O'Brien.
Coach, down 24-0, but your team was in that locker room pounding on the doors, raring to go. What did you tell them that makes them think they can get back into this game?
Well, we can't get back in it right away. We have to try to creep back in it, one play at a time. And we still got a lot to play for. You know, these kids, they want to play. They think there's a great opportunity for them. We can get back in this a little bit, force it to the fourth quarter. Who knows what's going to happen?
Coach, good luck.
Thank you.
They have played well in the fourth quarter.
Yes, they have. Usually that offensive line wears down the opponent. But this is an 8-man front, tough to wear down from Virginia Tech. They rotate a lot of people in and out. Cedric Washington tackled by Corey Bird. And we look at the first half stats. Lots of big plays for Virginia Tech, adding up to 358 yards of offense. Vick just 5 out of 6 passing, but 167 yards on 5 completions.
And nearly 100 yards rushing as well. 76 yards rushing in the first half.
Vick averaged 8.4 yards per rush. Hasselbeck rushed for 23 yards. And on 3rd and short, they pick up the first down with William Green, the true freshman from Brigantine, New Jersey. We talked about all those freshmen from New Jersey brought in by Al Golden. And the headliner was William Green, high school All-American, recruited by just about every major program. And he rushed more than 1,500 yards, averaged better than 8 yards per carry at Holy Spirit High School.
It says something to me about what they feel about him, to have him as your short yardage back, too, to give him the ball in those critical 3rd and short situations.
They give it to Washington this time around the corner. And pushed out by Nick Sorensen. A long run by Washington to the 31-yard line. of Virginia Tech. So using Tom O'Brien's philosophy of one play at a time, the Eagles are moving it briskly downfield.
Well, two good blocks. First, the tackle on the tight end. Ellis, the tight end, blocks down. The tackle, Cook, comes out and gets a block. They exchanged assignments there, and a nice job by Cedric Washington getting it in the crease. Good blocking on the left side by Boston College.
Washington over 100 yards rushing with that carry. 10 rushes, 102 for Cedric. There's carry number 11, a short gain to the 29. He picked up 2. Ben Taylor and Carl Bradley made the stop. It's already been a happy Thanksgiving for Cedric Washington. We'll tell you more about that in a moment. But first, a look at the first half possessions. Not very impressive by BC.
Well, they had 10 plays to start it out and move the football down the field, and that's been about their best drive, but in great situation right now coming out of the locker room to start the third quarter.
Washington again. Talk about a happy holiday. A couple of weeks ago, Cedric's father, Lawrence, lapsed into a diabetic coma. He had a blood clot in his leg, but recently he has come out of the hospital and is doing much better. And obviously that was greatly uplifting to Cedric and his family, one of 5 children from Western Massachusetts.
Throws a little more meaning into Thanksgiving.
Sure does.
Something like that happens, that's for sure.
Washington, in his first year as the premier back here, backed up Mike Cloud and Omari Walker in prior season. BC looking for its first third down conversion. Hasselbeck doesn't quite get there. Needed to reach the 21. He's down near the 23-yard line. Wrapped up by Ben Taylor. And it looks like they'll go for the first down by 24.
Really a good play call by Dana Bible. The pressure's going to come this way, and they run the quarterback draw this way. It's softer on the defense that side. The fullback Birch got a good block to bring up this fourth down. Nice play call. They need a nice one here, too.
On 4th and 2 at the Virginia Tech 23-yard line. Green in a tailback as the short yardage specialist. They fake it to him.
Tight end's open.
He is open, and it's through his hands. Robert Ellis couldn't corral it. That was a touchdown, but the throw was just a little bit high from Hasselbeck. And Ellis, with his hands outstretched above his head, couldn't take it in.
This is Ellis right here. Now, Virginia Tech is going to bite on the run. They're thinking run all the way, and Ellis runs right past the coverage. Michael Hawks is totally trailing on this play. But as Ellis was trying to turn his body to get in position to make the catch, he just couldn't get the football. Nice call and well executed except for the very end.
A little better throw or a little better effort on the receiving end, and they had their first points. Tyrone Stith, the first play from scrimmage of the second half for Tech, and Chris Hovan made the tackle.
It's one of those plays, you know, where you know he's open, you know you got a touchdown, you want to just throw it right at him and not make him have to reach or do anything for it. But with Michael Hawks trailing the play, he couldn't zip it in there. He had to kind of throw it up in the air, and they weren't able to make the connection.
No gain for Stith on first down. He's rushed for 54 yards now on 9 carries. Great move by Vick. Out of bounds with another first down. Out to the 37-yard line. A run of 13 for Vick. And up to 89 yards. Tomorrow, the Home Depot College football heats up with a doubleheader. First, it's an SEC matchup when Vanderbilt battles T-Mart and the Tennessee Volunteers. And in the nightcap, Quinton Spotwood and the Syracuse Orangemen take on Santana Moss and the Hurricanes in a Big East bash. That has bowl game implications. Syracuse fighting to get into a bowl. And tomorrow, beginning at noon Eastern time. Miami trying to avenge that humping the Canes took from the Orangemen up in the Dome last year when Syracuse put 66 on the Canes. Tyrone Stith out to the 39-yard line, and Scott Bradley made the tackle.
Michael Vick is one of 10 semifinalists for the Davey O'Brien Quarterback Award, an award that I have a vote in, and pretty remarkable. I mean, he's obviously the only freshman on that list. A lot of good upperclassmen quarterbacks that he's in the company with for that award.
On second down and long, Vick throws back to a wide open receiver. Derek Carter, the tight end, into Boston College territory and down at the 32-yard line, and Vick is hurt, grabbing at his left leg, and now looking at the official and pointing one of the BC defenders as if to ask, shouldn't there have been a penalty there?
Well, again, he's in the shotgun, and it's a little bit of a forced rollout because of the pressure on the inside from Willits. And again, he throws it back across the field with the flick of the wrist. I mean, the strength of his arm is really uncanny. He doesn't have his feet set. He's not stepping into the throw. And there at the end of the play, that's Antonio Garay that's down around the legs and makes the tackle low on Michael Vick.
It was Mike Willits up high. No flag thrown. The sore shin for the moment for Vick. He hands it off to Stith right up the middle and down to the 26-yard line, and Vick is still a little bit wobbly.
You know, I'm sure as his career goes on, everybody's going to find all the little nuggets and tidbits about Michael Vick, but I found out one that I think is pretty interesting. He throws the ball left-handed, and he throws it very well, obviously, but he does everything else right-handed. He is not a natural left-hander. Wright's right-handed. Everything else that he does is right-handed, but he throws that football real well with the left hand.
He's done a lot of research.
Follow him around.
Hands off to Stith. Now, I noticed you, of course, we all remember you as a great right-handed quarterback. You write with your left hand.
I do a few other things left-handed. Of course, my dad used to tell everybody that I threw right-handed, wrote left-handed, and ate with both hands. So I think that's probably still
I can
accurate.
vouch for that. Our Thanksgiving meal yesterday. You covered yourself in glory and food. Third down and 5 upcoming. And a timeout called by Virginia Tech nearly midway through the third quarter. The Hokies comfortably ahead 24-0.
With its powerful V6 engine and rugged construction, the Grand Vitara is perfectly engineered to speed you to safe haven. The V6 Grand Vitara from Suzuki. Motor Week's best small SUV of the year. Be a part of football history. Cast your official vote for the Heisman Trophy winner now at your Suzuki automotive dealer.
My driving test kind of got off to a bad start.
On calls like this, you want to talk a while. That's why it's always a good idea to dial 10-10-321.
Well, I thought I was in first.
With 10-10-321, you save 50% on calls over 10 minutes. Now, that's just 8 cents a minute, day or night.
I was supposed to turn on the blinker.
And no monthly fees. And that 50% off, you can go on and on and on.
So finally, I pull out of the parking space.
Talk as long as you want with 10-10-321.
At the end of 1,000 years,
the Dark Angel is loose from his prison.
He will walk among us.
He was chosen to bear his child.
In search of an innocent soul.
I've come for my wife.
Now, it's one man's fate.
I'm afraid.
It's not too late. To protect her.
What are we gonna do?
Let's go. To the end.
How can you expect to defeat me? I am forever.
End of Days. Rated R. Now playing.
As you might expect, Teller and I don't see eye to eye on investing. I like to avoid risk. Teller's a little more daring. We do, however, share the same new way to trade online.
Introducing Power Street by Fidelity, the first site with trading tools customized by Lycos to fit your unique way of doing things.
Look, the market's up, or in your case, down.
Power Street Online Trading. To find out how you could win free trades for life, visit Fidelity.com.
Sunday on the NFL Today. Join Jim, Craig, Randy, and Jerry for all the latest NFL news. Randy visits with the quarterback who has the Vikings on a roll, Jeff George, and Marcus Allen chats with Jets quarterback Ray Lucas. It's all coming up tomorrow, or rather Sunday. So accustomed with being tomorrow. At noon Eastern on the NFL Today. And stay with the gentleman for the NASDAQ halftime report.
Craig he's always the guy that ends up with that football, too.
He is.
Of course, he's the only guy that knows what to do with it, too, out of that bunch.
3rd and 5 Hokies after their timeout at the BC 27. Here comes the corner blitz, and Vick turned right into it. Ramon Johnson came on the corner blitz. The perfect call by Frank Spaziani. And credit the Eagles with their 3rd sack of Vick.
You bring Johnson on the blitz, and he's coming right from here into your picture, and then he's responsible for the quarterback. No matter what the play is, if he's going to stay in the pocket, you go after him. If he's going to run the option, which it looked like Vick was going to do that time, he's responsible. So a well-timed blitz called by Frank Spaziani.
He says Johnson's just now starting to get it back. Ramon had major knee surgery 2 years ago. Missed the whole 97 season. Trying for the coffin corner. It's a good bounce. The ball landed near the 20 and rolls down to the 12. Where it's down by Bob Slokowski, a tight end. 23-yard punt by Kibble.
It's twice we've seen him kick that thing almost straight up in the air. Got a better bounce that time, but
we'll return to Blacksburg in a moment.
This is a competing antiperspirant. And this is new Brood with Trimax, which fights odor and prevents wetness. Women who are pregnant, nursing, or may become pregnant should not handle broken containers of Brood. Ask your girlfriend if Brood is right for you.
So close. Fast. The Remington Microscreen 3 gives you 3 things no other shaver can. Our most powerful motor, 150 cutting edges, and 3 flexing microscreens, guaranteed to get you smooth. The Remington Microscreen 3.
I need a car?
There's a whole new way to shop for a used car.
No, a convertible. A red one. With under 15,000 miles.
Introducing Autotrader.com. Over 1 million used cars updated daily make it the biggest, best used car site on the planet.
You couldn't help me with a loan, could you? Can we help you?
Autotrader.com. Your car is waiting.
What would you do with a crystal face hand-polished to withstand 2 tons of unadulterated pressure? What would you do with a tachymetric scale so precise it can survive 240-degree heat? What would you do with the world-renowned Alpha Expedition timepiece? Well, you'd probably just use it to tell time. And at $6,500, that watch could cost you over $30,000 in retirement savings. We just thought you should know. Ask a financial advisor about Sun America, the retirement specialist.
The Home Depot College Football on CBS is sponsored by Sun America. 10-10-3-2-1. The Remington Microscreen 3 shaver. And by Suzuki.
And the marching Virginians enjoying this one. Virginia Tech leads 24-0. Marching Virginians hoping the next time they're marching to be along Bourbon Street. Matchup with Florida State in the Sugar Bowl in the national championship game. BC starts at its own 12. They move the ball well in spurts. When they penetrated deep into Hokie territory, they haven't capitalized. Cedric Washington tackled by Jamel Smith. BC looking for its 9th win. Last time they were there in 93 when they were 9-3 under Tom Coughlin. Washington now 108 yards rushing. Flag down in the backfield. Derek Crittenden, the receiver. We'll tell you about the flag in a moment, but first, here's Tim.
Sean and Todd in the wild and wacky world of college football. LSU leading Arkansas 28-3. That's right, the same Razorbacks that beat the defending national champions Tennessee a week ago. Clint Sterner finds Joe Dean Davenport, 15-yard strike. It's 28-10. LSU's interim coach, Hal Hunter, a one-hit wonder on the Bayou. Jerry DiNardo gone. The message has been sent. A pretty good job is waiting for someone.
And a lot of names flying around as potential candidates. Illegal block against BC negates the big play and brings the ball back inside the 5 to the 4-yard line.
Now, it was a chop block. Watch Chris Cyrus as he comes around the corner. He's being blocked by the tackle Cook, and while he's still engaged, the guard tries to take his legs out. Dan Coppin therefore the big penalty. Good pass rush by Chris Cyrus.
Only one touchdown in the third quarter against this Hokie defense this season. That was scored by the Pitt Panthers. And nothing doing for Cedric Washington as Corey Bird was up from his safety spot. No game.
You know, the amazing thing, too, Sean, is the two best defensive players for Virginia Tech are not in on this series. I mean, they're giving Engelberger and Corey Moore a little break, so you have Chris Cyrus and Darius Monroe in there at ends, David Pugh, a backup tackle, and they just play with such great intensity, and they fly to the football. They are a fun defensive football team to watch.
Hasselbeck having all kinds of difficulty getting the play from the sideline, and they're not going to get this play off.
No, they got to call timeout.
Certainly nobody wants to be responsible for the play call when it's 3rd and 18 from your own 4 against this bunch.
Your money hits the web. Once the shop gets the jitters. Not to worry. Introducing Click Credit from Citibank. Credit minus the card. Invented just for shopping online. Conclusion? Click buy. Never lose a penny. Guaranteed. Give it a whirl at clickcredit.com. Citibank, where money lives.
Come here, boy.
With its V6 power and shift on the fly 4-wheel drive, the Grand Vitara can get you and your buddy through anything. The V6 Grand Vitara from Suzuki.
Wow, Suzuki, huh?
It's MotorWeek's best small SUV of the year. Be a part of football history. Cast your official vote for the Heisman Trophy winner now at your Suzuki automotive dealer.
Team USA takes on the world in a blade-to-blade meltdown. Whoa! Your favorite ice skating champions compete on an all-new Ice Wars. CBS Saturday.
And now a look at this week's Suzuki Heisman Watch Update.
Tim Randall along with Spencer Tillman back in New York. You know, with the right program and the right schedule, this guy would be the Heisman
That's
front
right.
runner.
Chad Pennington is the man. Just the 3rd player to complete 1,000 passes in Division I football. 324 yards passing per game. 68.2% completion percentage. This guy's a marquee front runner for the Heisman otherwise.
I would love to see him against Louisiana Tech's Tim Rattay in the Motor City Bowl. For more information on the Suzuki Heisman Watch, log on to cbs.sportsline.com.
After the timeout, Boston College looking at 3rd down and 18 from its own 4.
Tim Hasselbeck better be alert. Corey Moore is back in the game. He's lined up to his right. This is where he loves to make plays.
Look out! Washington just got out of the end zone. Chris Cyrus made the tackle, senior from Rustburg, Virginia. He backs up both defensive ends, and on most other teams, he'd be a starter.
Yeah, he's a very good player, and Boston College trying to be safe. It was the twist stunt. The end came inside right into the face of Washington. I really think Virginia Tech's going to make something happen on this punt. They forced a couple bad snaps. Now it's a shorter distance to the punter to the snapper. Watch out for the Hokies here.
One of the best kick block team in the 90s. But Kevin McMyler got it out. Good kick, too. Ricky Hall from the 47. Back to the 39, an 8-yard return. A 44-yard punt. Mike Guazzo made the tackle. Time now for our Rigid Tools Scholar Athlete Award. Our Scholar Athlete of the game is Virginia Tech flanker André Davis. Not only a terrific performance on the field today as a residential property management major, he's erecting an impressive transcript in the classroom with his 3.13 grade point average. Rigid Tools commitment. The investment in our future is shown today by donating $1,000 to Virginia Tech's General Scholarship Fund. Cullen Hawkins hands it off. André Davis, our Rigid Tools Scholar Athlete Award winner, continuing to improve on a big day already as he goes to the 17-yard line, a 22-yard run.
Virginia Tech hasn't shown any reverse here. Here he comes from the top of the screen. They give it to Hawkins. It's a clean exchange with Davis, and then that speed. I mean, Boston College defense, they play hard. They fight you, but they don't have a lot of speed on that defensive team, and André Davis has exploited them as a receiver, and that time as a runner with his speed.
Andrew Kendrick in at tailback. He gets the handoff from Vick, and is knocked down by the safety, George White.
George White made the stop for
2 long touchdowns receiving by André Davis today.
Again, that's a sick throw by Michael Vick. Get it with his wrist back across the field to the middle. And André Davis, you know, we had them against West Virginia a couple weeks ago. He dropped a couple balls and had a very difficult week. Found out about the passing of a close hand.
Cullen Hawkins, the fullback, spitting near a first down. Looks like he has it inside the 7-yard line. Frank Chamberlain made the tackle. It is a first down. 1st and goal, Hokies, leading 24-0. With 4:15 and the clock now running again. Remaining in the 3rd quarter. The sun's even trying to come out.
It's beautiful right now. Looking over the mountains and the trees, and
a pretty part of the world in Southwest Virginia. The Blue Ridge Mountains. Tyrone Stith trying to take over the single season rushing touchdown mark for Virginia Tech all by himself. Earlier with his 13th of this season, he tied the record shared by 3 others.
This is Virginia Tech football. Pound, 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 play action, throw deep. Let Michael Vick make some big plays. Tyrone Stith running behind that physical offensive line.
André Kendrick in the backfield now as well. Leading the way for Stith, and he was stopped by the middle of that BC defense. Adam Newman at the bottom of the pile, the former tight end, is now a defensive end. Mike Willits also there. Willits has been a terrific player at BC. He's a Virginia native from Alexandria, Virginia. Both of Mike Willits' parents, Randy and Susan, are Virginia Tech graduates. And he grew up coming to games here. Enjoyed his visit to Boston College and decided to go there. Stith again. Didn't get there. Well, give the BC defense credit. This is really typical of the way they played all season long, even when down. They've played hard all the way to the gun for Frank Spaziani.
I don't think there's any question you go for it here if you're Virginia Tech. As you see, good penetration by Boston College doesn't allow him to get airborne. The worst case scenario here is you give Boston College the ball inside the 1-yard line and you play with your great defense and make them potentially have to punt out of their own end zone again. So
4th and goal. Tech 9 out of 13 on 4th downs this year. Stith was stuffed.
Boy, that's impressive. Here's a team losing 24-0. Virginia Tech moving the ball at will, going up and down the field on them, making big plays, and they come up with the goal line stand on the road. This is great work. It was Hovan and Serino. Great work.
Really 2 of the seniors who set the tone. Yep. This is a very young team, but the few seniors that they do have who play are very key members of this team. Hovan and Serino at the top of the list. Chamberlain another. George White the other safety. All seniors who have been through that incredible adversity and deserve so much credit and deserve the rewards that they are reaping as seniors heading to a bowl game. William Green, the true freshman, trying to get them some breathing room. Here's Michelle Tafoya.
Well, you guys were talking about the seniors of Boston College, and Chris Hovan agrees. He said this week, I wouldn't trade any senior on this team for anybody in the country. There's a lot of highlight players out there, but I wouldn't trade any one of these seniors because we play with heart, we play with intensity, and we play for 4 quarters. Sean, Todd?
After several of these emotional wins, Tom O'Brien has echoed those comments. Yeah. He's been very emotional Clearly, after several wins, and he always talks about how happy he is for the seniors. They're the ones who went through the gambling mess, stuck it out, and are benefiting now. Hasselbeck going deep, and it's caught. Dedrick Dewalt. Touchdown, Boston College. 97 yards.
Nice play called by Dana Bible, Sean, to go play action, and then Dewalt runs the deep post. He turns around Whitaker, and then it's a beautiful throw right out where he can catch it on the run. He didn't have to wait for the ball. He didn't have to reach back for it. Catch it on the run, and then outrun Whitaker and Charlton to the end zone. It was a one receiver route. I mean, they were only going for the home run or nothing, and they got the home run.
That's the longest pass play in Boston College history, a 97-yard touchdown. Hasselbeck to Dedrick Dewalt, and the extra point up and good from John Manich. Dewalt, the sophomore from Chicago, Illinois, gets BC on the board.
High-power binoculars magnify every little shake. But with Canon image stabilizer binoculars, see this button? Just press it and watch this eagle soar through the air. Or watch this eagle land. Canon image stabilizer binoculars continually adjust for shake, so you can capture the grace of an African lion or a Detroit lion. Canon image stabilizer binoculars, official binocular supplier of the NFL.
What do you do while your battery is charging? Well, now, you could just keep working. Because Skill just created the dual source power system, the first cordless tools with a corded backup. So you can finish what you start, which is a much more satisfying use of time. Dual source. Only from Skill.
Who will be named the Sportsman of the Century? Sports Illustrated's 20th Century Sports Awards, Thursday night on CBS.
Boston College on the scoreboard for the first time. Good job up here protecting both backs, and then watch Anthony Midget, the free safety. He's up there trying to show blitz, and then he gets out of position. As the ball's thrown over his head, he took a bad angle. We've seen Pedro Serino do that a couple times for Boston College. That time Anthony Midget took a bad angle to the football, and Boston College a huge touchdown following their goal line stand on defense.
And typical of the way that they've played all season long. Dedrick Dewalt.
They do not quit, do they, Sean?
No, they don't. Reflection of their coach. That kickoff does go into the end zone before going out of bounds, so the ball will come out to the 20. Good job by the kicker, Mike Sutphin. Tonight on CBS, the government built him to be the ultimate fighting machine, but does he have the strength to resist temptation? And all new Now and Again Friday on CBS. That's tonight, 9 Eastern Time, 8 Central.
You're going to be the ultimate broadcasting machine after doing back-to-back games tonight and tomorrow.
We will both be, along with Michelle and many of the members of our crew here, giving up their holiday to televise this game. Commend our crew under these tough weather conditions, although they're rapidly improving. Vick slipped for a moment, runs away from Adam Newman, and goes down at the 26 after a gain of 6. We're under a minute remaining in the third quarter.
Right now, Michael Vick, I mean, he's pretty much had his way with Boston College today. He's made a lot of things look easy. It's very important as the third quarter is running out here to keep his focus and keep within the offensive framework and get his team back on track here. They still have a comfortable lead, but Boston College has some momentum right now.
The pitch to Chiron Stith. Good cutback and a first down. Out to the 33 on what will be, in all likelihood, the final play of the third quarter. They don't need to run another. Marco Williams made the tackle.
Frank Spaziani called another corner blitz that time, but This time, the play was going away from the blitz, the toss to Stith, rather than Michael Vick rolling into the blitz like he did a couple plays ago.
And that will be the final play of the third quarter with the score Virginia Tech 24 and Boston College 7. We'll return to Lane Stadium right after this message and a word from your local station.
Okay, here she comes. Here she comes.
You like this? You two should see my website.
Website?
If you had web TV, you could get on the internet from your TV set and check out the shots of me washing my truck in a thong.
Oh.
Got a camcorder? You could email me pictures of you.
You got a camcorder?
I have a thong.
Oh, the red one.
I dropped my melon, and there was Bud. Wow. He's got this cute little mustache that curls up. Bud, Bud, Bud. We went square dancing. Everybody goes whoop-de-doo and load the boat. I call him Bud the teacher. He even taught me to do online trading. I have an Ameritrade account. Costs only $8 a trade. I had a stock split. Use the coaster, sweetheart.
Ameritrade. Call now.
On the next all-new Dave, rack 'em up and grab a drink. It's Stupid Pet Tricks. Plus, Dave's a knockout with the kids.
I was hooked.
Next Late Show.
The address is CBS.
1999 has been a season like no other for Virginia Tech. You'll hear from the men who made the plays when News 7 presents Hokie High, a News 7 sports postgame show tonight at 7 on your hometown station, WDBJ 7.
If you could pick your next car payment, you'd be a happy camper, right?
Yes!
Well, you can do exactly that this week at the Duncan Automotive Network.
At Duncan Honda in Christiansburg.
Choose a new Honda Civic LX at just $229 a month.
At only $299 a month, it's an Accord LX or CRV 4x4, your choice.
So pick a payment, pick a car with no monthly payments till the next century.
This week at Duncan Honda on Roanoke Street, just off I-81 in Christiansburg.
A proud member of the Duncan Automotive Network.
This is News 7 Newsbreak.
Good afternoon. On the busiest shopping day of the year, not everybody was in the spirit of giving today. Two men in fake beards and blue jumpsuits robbed the First Virginia Bank on Electric Road this afternoon. They managed to escape, but they didn't get away cleanly. Exploding dye packs in the bags marked both the money and the robbers. And traveling in the New River Valley could be difficult tonight as Christmas shoppers and Hokie fans pack the roads. Hope you join us for News 7 at 6.
Football Sunday on your hometown station. An AFC doubleheader kicks off at 1 with the Patriots and Bills. Then at 4, the Jets go after Peyton Manning and the 8-2 Colts. Football Sunday on your hometown station, WDBJ 7.
Win a Y2K SUV. Watch News 7 at 6 weeknights.
17-point lead for Virginia Tech. As we head to the fourth quarter, the cheerleaders doing the hokey pokey. You joined right in, Todd. That was very
one of
impressive.
my favorites.
Yeah.
Great wedding, thing in wedding. Do the hokey pokey.
1st and 10. The Hokies from their own 33. Chiron Stith.
He almost fumbled
with the ball. Yes.
Yep.
Pedro Sereno made the tackle. And Todd, Virginia Tech seems doing what it needs to do today to solidify its place in the rankings, certainly. And who knows about the BCS poll? Neither one of us can figure that out.
It's a hard one to figure out. I mean, I think that they're probably going to be in good shape. I mean, again, Nebraska would have to overtake them in the majority of the computer rankings, and that's going to be tough to do. You know, both teams winning by a similar margin right now.
Chiron Stith picks up another first down out to the 46. He's up to 84 yards rushing now. Nebraska still leads Colorado. Not the same type of margin that Virginia Tech's working with here. And earlier, Texas A&M beat Texas 20-16. And those of us who are neutral in that matchup, you have to, regardless of who you're cheering for, you have to be happy for the people at Texas A&M. All that they've gone through the enormous tragedy.
Tough spot for Chris Sims to step into, too, finding out right before the game he's got to start.
Vick, nice catch made by the tight end Derek Carter. Right at the first down yardage at the 44 of BC, where he took a good pop from Scott Bradley and Jerome Ledbetter.
Again, the tight ends don't catch many balls. Here's Carter right here. Watch as the bootleg comes out the other way. Michael Vick, the left-handed quarterback, you want him rolling to his left. And again, the flick of the wrist. He's got a nice high target there with Carter. Goes up in the air and catches it above the defenders.
They're measuring for a first down. Mentioned a few times, Virginia Tech was trying for its first 11-0 season. It would not be its first undefeated season, but it would be the first time they finished the year without a loss and 11 wins. The only time they were undefeated and untied was back in 1918. When they went 7-0, gave up 13 points the whole year. They had 5 shutouts in 7 games, and they had 1 tie and 54 in 9 games, a 7-7 tie with William and Mary.
Great defense for the Hokies is a long tradition.
When Frank Beamer played quarterback here in the mid and late 60s. He was a defensive back on 2 teams that went to the Liberty Bowl. Jared Ferguson gets very little on first down. Sean Guthrie made the tackle. An emotional day for Frank. Obviously, he says it's the biggest game in school history, and you can't argue that point. Based on all the factors, you'd have to say certainly it is. It's also the last game for the seniors, including his son, Shane, who has been a wide receiver and a long snapper. And I remember when I first started doing games here about 10 years ago, Shane was 12 or 13 years old and took care of Frank's headset cables along the sideline. He used to follow his dad around. It was a terrific, touching scene. Vick running to the right, has Davis wide open. And he made a nice move to avoid the first hit and then got buried at the 30-yard line by Antonio Garay. 13 yards and another first down for Virginia Tech.
Ricky Bussell has to be thrilled with what he's seeing out of Michael Vick right now. Boston College gets on the scoreboard. They get the big defensive stop. Michael Vick comes back in the game and just coolly and calmly gets him moving back down the field, getting into scoring range again.
Frank Chamberlain, BC's leading tackler, has gone off the field. The middle linebacker replaced by Andy Romanowski. Vick is 8 out of 9 for 220 yards passing and the 2 long touchdowns to Davis. Hokies trying to add to a 17-point lead. Vick with lots of time just flicks it again, and it's a touchdown to Cullen Hawkins.
Sean, another beautiful throw by Michael Vick and a great call by Ricky Bussell. They got the fullback, Hawkins, matched up on a linebacker, Scott Bradley. And Michael Vick put it in the perfect spot in the back corner of the end zone.
And again, Todd, just the flick of the wrist and the ball's gone and so accurate and so far down the field. He has an amazing arm, amazing release. The extra point up and good by Shane Graham.
Here's Hawkins right here. He's just going to go out and up the sidelines. And again, it's a perfect throw by Michael Vick. Hawkins out on the linebacker, right over the outside shoulder. Perfect throw and a great catch by Hawkins.
First touchdown of the season for Hawkins, the junior from Pittsburgh. Shane Beamer, Coach Beamer's son, loved that.
Here's your regular homepage. Here's i1.com. It's free. You use it like Yahoo, Lycos, or other search engines. Only i1.com gives away $10,000 every day, $1 million a month, and $10 million on tax day. Which one would you choose?
$10 million with no strings attached?
Yep.
It's a good thing she didn't know about this last year.
Introducing i1.com. Why wouldn't you?
Good financial decisions require expertise. Life needs flexibility. Success demands leadership. If there's something you want to achieve, the principal has one word of advice. Plan ahead, get ahead. The Principal Financial Group.
Your car's been in an accident, and the repairs are taking too long. The problem's not your body shop, it's your insurance company. I can't fix cars, but I can cut the red tape, so my customers get their cars back faster. You're in good hands with Allstate. Mine.
The government built him to be the ultimate fighting machine. But does he have the strength
I want
to resist temptation? All new Now and Again, CBS tonight.
What's up, Great Grand? Hi, Great Grand. Florida, what's up? I'm in Fletcher. How you doing? My boys in PA. My boys in PA.
Hawkins. Saying hello to some of his relatives. His dad, Scott, was a starting linebacker at Virginia Tech back in the late 60s. In 7th, 8th, and 9th grades, Cullen Hawkins was a freestyle mogul skier, made the U.S. junior national team. Beat out Todd Blackledge for that honor. That'll be a touchback. Kibble's kickoff did manage to go through the end zone before going out.
Never been up on skis.
Bud Foster. Here's how big the program is in this part of the country. He does TV commercials.
I know.
You see that last night? He's doing commercials for a local body shop. Talking about when your car takes a tough hit, bringing in the whatever it was, body repair.
That might have been part of his new contract that they drew up for him to keep him from leaving.
Minutes left. Boy, they're holding more, and he still got to the quarterback to knock the ball out. And it's recovered by Darnell Alford. Looked like Moore was being held all the way to the quarterback, and he still powered his way to Hasselbeck and knocked the ball out.
Sean, there just aren't many 6-foot, 220-pound defensive ends in college football. And there certainly aren't many that can take over a game. But Corey Moore is one of them. He was being held by Michael Cook. Didn't matter. Used his speed, used his acceleration to get to the quarterback and get the football. Didn't get his hands on it. Looked like he may have been slapping it towards a teammate to return for a touchdown. Nonetheless, his 17th sack of the year.
Senior from Brownsville, Tennessee, about 50 miles from Memphis. Grew up under difficult circumstances. Hasselbeck going deep again. They already have a 97-yard touchdown in this game, and that one was incomplete for Jamal Burt. Corey Moore was raised by his mother, Dorothy. He worked 2 jobs to raise 4 children. He never really was close to his dad, who passed away 5 years ago. Corey said he remembers as a young boy being underage, sneaking into a nightclub near Memphis and seeing somebody get shot in the head in his neighborhood. But he has stuck with it. Was an excellent undergraduate student here at Virginia Tech. Graduated with a 3.1 back in May with a degree in finance. He wants to be a sports agent. Says law school is more of a priority to him than the NFL.
Those NFL guys, they're hard to figure where he could play, but he is a football player.
Hasselbeck scrambling for his life, throws it behind Burke again, who had one-on-one coverage, and a late flag thrown at the end of the play. Holding against Boston College. That'll be turned down, bring up 4th down. Let's check in with Michelle Tafoya.
Well, you're talking about Corey Moore. You know, after giving up that touchdown to BC, he was the guy that gathered the defense on the sidelines. He looked them all in the eyes. He calmed them down, and he said, hey, we're winning this game. Let's not lose composure. The key word is composure, and Corey Moore is showing it. Back to you, Sean.
Key word is leadership, and Corey Moore, one of the top leaders on this team. Not just the defense, but the whole team. This is a senior-laden defense that has great maturity and great leadership.
Evan McMyler again punting from his end zone. Tough enough to punt against these guys. It seems all day. Picking from the end zone and doing a very good job. Ricky Hall at his own 40. An illegal block in the back. This run will come back. As it was in plain view that Lee Suggs was guilty of an illegal block in the back for Virginia Tech. Jonathan Ordway made the tackle on Hall. And it will come back.
You know, it takes a lot of things and ingredients to have an undefeated team, a championship team, and Virginia Tech has them. And they've got playmakers like André Davis and Michael Vick. They've got the maturity and the leadership, veteran players on defense. Another thing that they've had this year that you can't discount, they've been relatively injury-free.
Yes.
I mean, they've had 18 players that have started all 10 games, all 11 now coming into today. The only guys that missed any time as starters, Vick, Keith Short, the center, and Nate Williams missed a couple games.
Timeout on the field. Tech in command.
Okay, you're serious. You're quitting smoking and you're taking your best shot. So you should know what Nicoderm CQ has that the store brand patch doesn't. CQ gives you 3 steps to gradually reduce your dose. Store brands don't. CQ lets both heavy and light smokers step down. Store brands don't. And only CQ has the method preferred by doctors. Nicoderm CQ. The power to calm, the power to comfort, the power to help you quit.
America Online introduces new version 5.0.
AOL is always adding new stuff. 5.0 is really easy.
The easiest just got easier.
5.0 rocks.
There's just a wealth of things that you can only find on AOL. America Online new version 5.0. Sign up today.
Now, get the biggest enlistment bonus the Army has ever offered. As much as $20,000. Plus up to $50,000 to pay for college. For your future, for your country's future. Call today. 1-800-USA-ARMY.
I just retired with a fair amount of money in my 401k, but the problem was it was all over the place. We sat down, we discussed an enormous amount of things. It's like telling your doctor almost. This is my personal financial plan. This is actually my playbook. I know exactly where I'm going with everything. It's got my current financial position, where my investments are, life insurance, education planning, retirement planning, planning for estate and taxes. Essentially, this book covers my whole life. I mean, it really is a game plan.
The Home Depot College Football on CBS is sponsored by Prudential, the United States Army, Nicoderm CQ, and by Pets.com.
Back at Lane Stadium, the sellout crowd more than 53,000. They'll be expanding this stadium in the coming days and months to accommodate many folks from this part of the country who have been turned on by Virginia Tech football. Why not? Terrific team, very well coached, exciting to watch. After the rollout, Vick found Davis in the BC territory, finally stepped out around the 49-yard line. Vick to Davis. That's been the big hookup today. 21 more on that reception for André.
Sometimes during the course of a season, you just get a feel for having a favorite receiver. And it's clear that André Davis is Michael Vick's favorite receiver. I mean, he knows when he gets the ball in his hand, Davis is going to do something good with it. Averaging over 25 yards per catch.
And improving that average today. 5 catches, 172 yards. And the 2 long touchdowns for Davis. He won the 100 and 200 meters in track and field in the Atlantic 10 conference last year. Premier sprinter in college track. Andre Kendrick tackled by Chris Hovan for no gain.
The other thing that André Davis does is he's also one of their best punt blockers. I mean, he uses that speed on the special teams as well. They line him up inside over the center, and he's got a couple punt blocks.
Blocked one earlier this year against Pittsburgh. Kendrick and Hawkins in the eye on 2nd and 10. Here comes the rush, and Vick is sacked by Chris Hovan. Back in Tech territory. That's the 4th sack for Boston College.
Well, one thing you know about Chris Hovan, he is never going to stop. His motor never slows down, and he just off the ball just blows right by Tim Schenecker, the center, and right to the quarterback, Michael Vick. For a guy that big, and he is big at 290 pounds, he is extremely quick. I mean, he can really move his feet for a guy that big.
He was about 240 when he came to BC out of St. Ignatius in the Cleveland area. 26 sacks as a senior in high school. He's also an all-state lacrosse player. And he's after Vick again, and he pulls him down. And the crowd thinks that they roughed up Vick. Frank Chamberlain in on a play. Sean Guthrie, the primary sack man there, the sophomore from Miami out of Christopher Columbus High School.
Well, Hovan is in the middle. The blitz came from outside, and Marco Williams on the blitz. And Boston College just had a little more fight in them on that series. Virginia Tech, I think, had a couple backup linemen in trying to give their starters a rest. And the guys who came off the bench for the Hokies weren't ready to go.
Came after the punt. Kibble got it off. Very high boot. And the Eagles let it bounce. And it's downed inside the 30 at the 28-yard line by Larry Austin. Virginia Tech inching closer to a perfect regular season.
Today we're opening gifts from pets.com. Let me help. Let me help. This dog loves the holidays. Hey, Max, you're going to give me a concussion. What is it? What is it? Max, look what we got. Stuff to put in our mouth. Pets.com, because pets can't drive.
This is the face of erectile dysfunction. So is this. And this. Fact is, 1 in 3 men have some form of ED, a medical condition also called impotence that affects men of every age, race, and background. What else do all these men have in common? They all faced up to their problem and got help. If you're experiencing ED, there's no need to hide your face. Just talk to your doctor. It's the best way to get educated about ED and how to treat it.
It was the holidays in Cellular Town. And all was not well.
What happened here?
It's the cellular, sir. The long distance bill. We signed a contract.
Here, the Sprint PCS free and clear plan gives you crystal clear calls for as little as a dime anytime.
Hey, Sprint PCS!
From anywhere in their nationwide network.
Hey, everybody!
500 minutes for $50 a month from Sprint PCS.
Lily says she'll trade you her new self-cleaning litter box for your video game.
She's not going for it. What do you think we should do?
She says she'll throw in a package of trout sticks.
Pets.com, because pets can't drive.
And a brand new boat!
Teen violence in our schools is out of control.
You have to give up the gang.
Now, one man is taking a stand to protect innocent students.
When you believe in yourself, there's not much you can't do.
Deion Sanders joins Walker for a show every parent should see in all-new Walker, CBS Saturday.
Back in Blacksburg. Just under 9 minutes left. Virginia Tech leads 31-7. Time now for our Army Teammates segment.
Flutie flushed. Throws it down. Caught by Boston College. I don't believe it. It's a touchdown. The Eagles win it. Unbelievable. I don't believe it. Phelan is at the bottom of that pile.
That was Thanksgiving weekend, 1984, the ultimate teammate play. Doug Flutie to Gerard Phelan for Boston College. Hail Mary pass to defeated Miami, helped cement the Heisman Trophy for Flutie. Helped make Gerard Phelan a lot of money in business in the Boston area, I can tell you that. And on the rush for BC, it's Cedric Washington to the corner for no gain. David Pugh made the tackle.
You know, the other thing, too, about that play, no matter what Doug Flutie does the rest of his career, what he did in Canada, what he does for the Buffalo Bills, everybody's always going to remember him by that play and what he did wearing number 22 for Boston College. One of the great players of all time.
Second and 11. Hasselbeck a little too high for Jamal Burke. Brent Musburger on the call in that segment. Friend and colleague now at ABC. He's here at the game today.
He wanted to see the Hokies. He's doing Georgia Tech tomorrow, but he anticipating seeing Virginia Tech in the Sugar Bowl and wanted to get a little peek-see.
Third down and 11. 31-7 Virginia Tech. 8:12 remaining. Hasselbeck 6 out of 19 under pressure all day, and they get him again. Corey Bird has had tremendous success coming with the blitz from his rover position, and that is the 6th Virginia Tech sack.
They come from different angles. They try to bait you into blocking certain guys and not blocking other guys. Here's Corey Bird, and nobody's going to pick him up. 3 guys rushing on that side, and you see nobody picks up Corey Bird. They overloaded the right side, and Bird in for the sack.
And here's McMiler to punt again. Oh, low snap handled by McMiler.
He's done a nice job. He really has.
Ricky Hall. He's doing a nice job. And McMiler, the punter, had to push him out of bounds at the 50-yard line. 51-yard punt, but a 25-yard return. Next Saturday, the Home Depot College Football presents one of the grandest traditions in all of sports. It'll be the 100th game between Army and Navy. Throw out the records, forget the standings, get ready for unparalleled pageantry. Football's all-time greatest rivalry. After 99 meetings, Army leads 48-44 and 7 ties. It's next Saturday from Philadelphia, noon Eastern time. Most of the starters in on offense. Pitch to Stith. We talk about the BCS formula and margin of victory is factored in. The Hokie fans want a late hit and will get the call. Scott Bradley, perhaps the Eagle defender, guilty of a hit out of bounds.
Well, this is a tired Boston College defense and a little bit frustrated. I'm sure they had better hopes for today, and just a little too much extra at the end of the play that time by Bradley.
And the point I was going to make as they walk off the penalty is no one seems to understand for certain how much is enough in terms of margin of victory. Right. Frank Beamer said that yesterday. You hear and read all sorts of different things about if you win by 24 points or 28 points. That's in one sort of category. If you win by 30, that's good, but then if it's more than that, it doesn't matter after a while. But there is no real firm delineation that I've read. He doesn't understand, nor do a lot of the other coaches that we've talked to, but it does kind of create the unsavory possibility of having to run up the score to get your team into a national championship game.
Yeah, I don't like that. And the other thing I don't like is the computers don't take into effect the emotions of the game and you know what else might be involved other than just what it looks like on paper and the players playing the game.
On 1st and 10 from the 32, Stith tripped up by Chamberlain. So it's possible that it could be the 2 undefeated teams that are at the top of the BCS standings right now in the championship game in the Sugar Bowl in New Orleans. And one thing that stands out in favor of Virginia Tech, the average margin of victory of the common opponents. They did a much better job against Clemson, Miami, and Virginia than did the Seminoles.
And until we see them on the field, this is really the only way that we can compare them. And you can say, well, Miami is a big rivalry for Florida State. Well, Virginia is a big rivalry for Virginia Tech. So, I mean, those kind of things balance out as well. And Virginia Tech played better against those 3 teams than the Seminoles did.
Jarrett Ferguson. Obviously, the BCS formula well thought out, well conceived, and I think well received by many in college football. But I think there are going to be an awful lot of people who are going to scream if Virginia Tech ends this season undefeated and does not play for the national championship. They did what they had to do every week, and they are deserving of being there, computers and polls or not.
And I think Frank Beamer, his mantra the whole year has been, let's just take care of our business. If we win all of our games, the 2 best teams will be playing for the national championship. And I will be very, very surprised if it doesn't work out that
way. Vick keeps and goes down at the 25-yard line. Tackled by Steve Martin. And there's Steve, junior from Dolton, Illinois. Let's check in with Michelle.
Well, Sean, in response to all this BCS computer talk this week, Corey Moore said, I think it would be an absolute tragedy if we don't get to play for the national championship. For a computer to leave us out, people should be ashamed of themselves if that happens. And Michael Vick chimed in saying, what made them bring computers into it anyway? Back to you.
I think those are both good points.
One of those computer polls is located right here in Blacksburg, too.
On 4th down and 3, the cadence of Vick appeared to draw the Eagles offside, and the center alertly snapped the ball. Chris Hovan, the guilty party, it appeared. And that'll give the Hokies a first down with 5:05 left.
See, those are little things, too, that Michael Vick, as a young quarterback, is learning and growing in the position, using the snap count. I mean, using the hard count, shrugging the shoulders a little bit. All of those little movements until the referee says, hey, stop moving. You can use those to your advantage and get those easy yards and those easy first downs.
And a heads-up play by the senior center, Keith Short, from Allen, Virginia.
The other thing Michael Vick has to be aware of is if your center is geared into doing that, your hands always have to be ready to take that snap. A lot of times you relax your hands if you're not anticipating the snap.
10 penalties against BC. They came in averaging only 6 per game. The Hokies have a way of making you flinch from time to time. Stith carries closer, and all this stuff about strength of schedule and BCS might become a moot point if Colorado comes back to win that one. Yeah. They've narrowed the gap to 27-20 with more than 4 minutes remaining.
We talked about the pressure on Virginia Tech, a lot of pressure on Nebraska, thinking the only shot they have is to really win big. And again, when that's your motivation, sometimes you don't play your normal game.
Vick. Zip one dropped at the 2-yard line by the tight end, Browning Wynn. What an arm he has. My goodness.
Not just strong, Sean, but very accurate.
Yes.
I mean, he's got a quick release, and he throws it incredibly accurately. Again, it's the tight end crossing, the little flick of the wrist, perfect throw to Win. Incomplete. You see the hit after the play.
Even when he doesn't quite fully step into it, it's just blistering tight spiral right on the money. It's the first incompletion since the first pass he threw today. He's now 10 for 12. The pitch to Stith. Good block by Ferguson. The pullback, a flag down. Stith down at the 1-yard line. Pedro Sereno saved the touchdown. There is a flag down at the 15. Holding against Tech.
Again, this is a tired Boston College defense. They've been on the field a lot here in the second half. The option to the outside, the fullback leading the way. No hold on Ferguson. I think they got the wide receiver, Terrell Parham, coming in to block from his outside position. I think that's where the hold was, outside. Michael Vick has done a very nice job running the option today, executing the option, knowing when to pitch, knowing when to keep the ball. A lot of that comes from preparation, just knowing before you get to the game what you're going to do in certain situations. If the defense gives you this look, here's how I'm going to react. And he was well prepared this week, and he sure played that way today.
Vick has rushed for 71 yards and thrown for 271. He zings another one, this time caught by Hall. Down at the 5-yard line with a first down. Yards on that completion, and Vick is on the verge of a 300-yard game.
I'm sure Mickey Andrews, the defensive coordinator at Florida State, is watching this game and scratching his head right now, trying to figure out what the best way to try to defend this kid is. I mean, you can bring pressure against him.
12 men.
I don't even know if that's enough, because they better be 12 fast men, although they have 12 fast guys at Florida State.
His passing stat, the CBS Sportsline stat of the game. For complete college football coverage, go to cbs.sportsline.com. Timeout called by Boston College. 3:33 remaining. 31-7 Virginia Tech.
say. Bingo Moon is on his way.
So what'll happen to all this now that you're going virtual?
We're not going virtual.
I read you're getting into internet trading, online cash management.
Well, we are, yes.
The end of an era.
Not at all. Online trading and the rest of it are simply new tools we're
You
making
don't have
available.
to sugarcoat it for me, but I must tell you, I'm going to miss our little chats.
Nelson, I'm not going away. The office isn't going away.
The coffee? The ticker?
Not going away.
What about the little bull?
Not going away.
Good.
What's going on?
Hey.
Wow, this is nice. But I thought Stacy said if you bought new tools, she gets a new dining room set.
Yeah, she did.
So where are the table and chairs?
You're standing on them.
Fine woodworking tools from Rigid. A name proven by pros since 1923. Take our 10-inch compound miter saw, equipped with a high-performance 40-tooth carbide blade. Rigid. Buy them at the Home Depot, where low prices are just the beginning.
A monster feast in the AFC East. First, the Pats fight to stay alive against Buffalo. Then the Jets are juiced for Peyton and the Colts. The NFL on CBS.
3.5 minutes remaining. Virginia Tech about to put the finishing touches on the greatest regular season, first ever 11-0 season in school history. A proud day for a great coach and a Virginia Tech alum, Frank Beamer. This school deserves credit. In his 5th year as coach, he went 5-6. In his 6th season, he went 2-8-1. But the administration realized that the foundation was in place. They were doing it the right way. Here's Vick trying to do it his own way. Touchdown!
Sean, there's no substitute for speed, and Michael Vick has plenty of it. First, the patience to make the good play fake, to lull the defense in towards the run, and then the speed to get to the corner untouched. Frank Beamer has watched his young quarterback make a ton of plays this year, and he is playing his best today.
Shane Graham adds the extra point. So if the computer was looking for a margin of victory against a quality opponent, here it is. 38-7 Hokies.
I'm serving a party of 20 at 7 o'clock, whether this pain goes away or not. So I took something stronger, something faster. I took Advil liquid gels. See, they're stronger and faster on tough pain than extra strength Tylenol. And, well, it just makes sense that they are. Liquid gels are the only pain reliever with liquid inside. Nobody else has that. Nobody. So when you want something that's faster on tough pain than Tylenol, take Advil liquid gels. Pain relief that's stronger and faster.
The government built him to be the ultimate fighting machine. But does he have the strength
I want
to resist temptation? All new Now and Again CBS tonight.
Well, the roar you hear is not for the score on your screen, but for the score that was just posted on the scoreboard here. That score, Colorado is tied up Nebraska. And look at the reaction. They're starting to pack their bags for New Orleans in the Sugar Bowl in the national championship game against Florida State. If anybody needed any more convincing about the Hokies, they probably got it today. This is not a pushover Boston College team. At 8-2 coming in and likely heading for the Insight.com Bowl. Gibble's kickoff went out of bounds. And the success of the football team at BC, just really part of the athletic story there, orchestrated by the man in the middle of your picture, Gene DiFilippo, the athletic director, one of the great men in all of college sports, watching with his son John, who's a quarterback up the road at James Madison University. And Gene DiFilippo, at just about the same time as Tom O'Brien, has walked into an athletic program in disarray. They had the controversy with the basketball coach, Jim O'Brien, who left him went to Ohio State. They had many problems in the hockey program, which started this year, ranked preseason #1. And has been stabilized under Coach Jerry York. Women's basketball has had its highest rankings this year. Men's basketball on the way back up. Women's cross country in the NCAA tournament finished 28th in the country. The women's soccer team made the Sweet 16 in the NCAA tournament for the first time. So BC's athletic program as a whole, and more importantly, the morale at Boston College on the way up, not only because of the football, but largely because of the great impact of Gene DiFilippo and what he has done in a very short period of time. St. Pierre is the quarterback. In all likelihood, BC at 8-3 to finish the year will be heading to the Insight.com Bowl in Tucson, Arizona on December 31st. It's a Big 12 opponent. There's been speculation about Oklahoma. William Green stuffed on 1st and 5. Corey Moore still in there. Well, it's looking more and more like Virginia Tech and Florida State in the national championship game. How do you size up the matchup?
Well, I'll tell you, rushing offense, I give to Virginia Tech. Passing offense, I think Florida State with their receivers, particularly Warwick. Rushing defense is even. They both play great run defense. Pass defense, I think Florida State's a little bit better. Special teams, Virginia Tech has the edge. Coaching, I'm changing this. I'm giving the edge to Virginia Tech. Nothing against the coaching of Florida State. They have great coaching, but I also think that they have more athletes, and I think Virginia Tech has to coach a little bit harder. And then the X factor, I give to Florida State because they were in that game last year for the championship and lost. They have that taste in their mouth. Virginia Tech will be thrilled to get to New Orleans and thrilled to play in that game. Florida State expected to be in that game.
Skirmish after the play. Green ran for a first down. And now some pushing and shoving. A backup offensive lineman, Mark Colombo, at the center of it. Sophomore from Bridgewater, Massachusetts. The officials have done good work today, do good work to break that up. I'm not so sure with you. I agree with just about everything you had on there about except pass defense. They've given up some big plays too this year in pass defense, talking about Florida State. Mickey Andrews talked about that when we had the game last week. It had been a frustration for him.
Right.
They've given up more long plays in the passing game to their opponents than they ordinarily do.
Well, they both rely on pressure, to take the pressure off their secondaries, and they both have been able to get to the quarterback quite a bit. I think it potentially is a great matchup. A couple weeks ago or earlier in the season, I didn't know if Virginia Tech could beat Florida State, but I really do think they have the kind of team that could. It should be a great matchup.
Personal fouls, I believe, after the play, so the run will likely stand. Tonight on CBS, international superstar Ricky Martin takes New York by storm in his first ever network TV special with guest stars Jose Feliciano and Carlos Santana. Then it's the drama everyone is talking about, an all-new Now and Again, followed by an all-new Nash Bridges, all tonight on CBS. Colombo was ejected. I'm not certain who the Hokie was who got the gate, but I believe there was also an ejection in there. Well, he threw a punch. That's why he's gone. Like Ron Cook, backup linebacker on the receiving end. And Colombo's a cousin of Stephen Marciano, who played football at BC, and they're descendants of Rocky Marciano, so perhaps that's where Colombo learned that technique. William Green tackled by T. Butler. Here's Michelle.
Second down and 7 for Boston College.
Throwing these out into the onto the field all game long, but now they're coming out fast and furiously. They are sugar cubes. Fans all over this stadium have them in honor, of course, of the Sugar Bowl. They're convinced they're going. Sean?
Well, they should go. If they don't go, it is a disgrace.
And it's ironic to me, too, that the highlight of Virginia Tech football in the last several years was when they went to the Sugar Bowl and beat Texas in 1995. That was their marquee win. Now this year, same city, but a much bigger stage and a chance to write a new chapter in Virginia Tech football history.
Wait, you broke it down position by position, category by category. Would you give us, well, first let's flash back since we're talking about it. This was a game Frank Beamer called the most important win in school history. Marcus Parker, a short touchdown run. Then Jim Druckenmiller went to Bryan Still for 54 yards. And they beat Texas 28-10 in the most important game they played prior to today. But would you give us a prediction, or are you going to hold off shy of a Florida State Virginia Tech prognostication?
Well, since we're bolting out of here as soon as the game's over, I will say I think Florida State would win the game and will win the game.
William Green streaking toward the end zone. Touchdown, Boston College. And you can't again say it often enough. You have to be impressed by BC, as they've done all season long, and a big part of their success, battling all the way to the end, including this 45-yard touchdown run by Green, longest run of his career, for the true freshman from Brigantine, New Jersey.
It shows you the good quickness to make the cut outside and then get it down the sideline to the end zone. And you said it, Sean. I mean, you know, take nothing away from BC from this game. I mean, this is one of the two best teams in football that they face today. This is a team that still won 8 games. They're still going to go to a good bowl game, deservedly so. And Tom O'Brien still deserves to be considered for Coach of the Year in this conference and in the country.
Frank Beamer took the shower a moment ago. 38-14 Tech.
NCAA football.
I love Georgia football. I've grown up around it all my life. 1977, Minnesota versus Michigan. Washington Huskies were ranked #1. Arizona had a great defense named the Desert Swarm. 80,000 screaming fans firing you up, being between the hedges. And the Gophers beat Michigan that day 16-0. It was just a great day to see the Cats come out, beat the #1 ranked team. I was out in the middle of the field, jumping up and down, arms raised. I turned around, and I was the only person out there running around in the field. It's like a total fool, and I've always loved college football.
They're celebrating the final seconds of a history-making victory here in Blacksburg. Well, you were starting to say, you were giving our prediction.
Oh, you're going to bring me back on it.
Something about if we weren't running out of the stadium, you'd say one thing, but Florida State.
I like Florida State for 2 reasons. I think they still have more players than this Virginia Tech team does. And again, they were in the championship game last year and lost to Tennessee. And I think just that experience and having been there in that stage, in that kind of a game, I think works in their favor.
All right. Friendly wager, just a gentleman's bet. I'm going to take Virginia Tech against Florida State. I think they've been consistently good in all 3 major facets, offense and defense, special teams, all year long, where I think Florida State has kind of been up and down in a couple of those areas. So I'm going to say the Hokies win.
You'll be big in Blacksburg. I do want to say, too, I enjoyed spending Thanksgiving with you and the rest of you.
I know you'd rather be with your beautiful wife, Sherry, your new son, Eli, born last week, and your other children, your family. They're tied up in Colorado, we are told, is on the 20-yard line with 40 seconds left. And they're updating it play-by-play on the video screen here. They can't show that game. They don't have a replay video board, but there's the update on the now 24 seconds left. And you're going to hear an eruption if Colorado kicks a field goal.
Well, Colorado's in scoring position,
yes, they are,
aren't they?
They are.
They're on the 24, on the 20 of Nebraska right now. So
look at Vick looking up there. They're in the take-a-knee mode with Dave Meyer at quarterback. And we'll let you enjoy the sights and sounds of the final 10 seconds as Virginia Tech completes a perfect 11-0 season, the first time ever. 38-14, the final over Boston College. They're going to try to rip down the goalposts here. Let's hope they're very careful. That's very dangerous. Michelle with the winning coach.
Coach, 11-0, a perfect season, and you went out in quite some fashion. You had faith all along that the best two teams would end up in the Sugar Bowl. It looks like it's going to be that way.
I sure did. That's what we said, and we do have a good football team. We're a really balanced football team. Got some great players. One of them's right beside me right here. But, you know, it's really been a team effort, too. We got some great players, but team effort all the way.
Let's talk to Michael Vick. Just tremendous day today. Coaches have said you play like you practice and that you had one heck of a week in practice. What beyond your expectations?
Yeah, sort of, you know, but I had a great week of practice this week, and I just give it to Coach Buster, you know, and I thank God for, you know, doing it for me today. And we just came out here and played great and believed in ourselves and never gave up. And this has been a great season, you know, with the coaches, the players, you know, I just appreciate everything.
It's a great season with one more game to play. That'd be the Sugar Bowl in Florida State. Your thoughts right now, Michael?
That's a dream come true for me. You know, I never knew it would be like this, but I'm so glad, and I hope to see everybody down in New Orleans.
Coach, your thoughts quickly on Florida State.
Oh, you know, great team, but I'd rather think about this great win. Team and coach right now. We'll get to Florida State later on. We know they're a great team.
Congratulations.
Thanks so much.
Sean, back up to you.
And what a day for Michael Vick. He rushed for 76 yards, threw for 290 on 11 out of 13 passing. And they really did demonstrate every part of their game and demonstrated convincingly that they should play for the national championship.
And I think the exciting thing for Virginia Tech is when the season started, they knew they had a great defense, they knew they had great special teams, and they had a freshman quarterback. Well, by the time they get to New Orleans, Michael Vick is no longer a freshman quarterback. He has a whole season under his belt and a great last memory of the regular season. This is a very, very good football team that plays with an attitude. I mean, it's a team that plays with a little chip on their shoulder because they don't think they get enough respect. They've gotten respect today.
Everybody here looking up at the screen, they just posted no good the field goal try for Colorado that would have won it in the end of regulation. It should not matter. If there's any justice, it'll be Virginia Tech and Florida State in the Sugar Bowl playing for the national championship. Now for Todd Blackledge, Michelle Tafoya, Sean McDonough saying so long from Lane Stadium. The final score, Virginia Tech 38, Boston College 14. We hope you'll be with us for our Home Depot college football doubleheader tomorrow. Vanderbilt in Tennessee gets us started at noon, then Syracuse and Miami. Sunday, it's doubleheader action, the NFL on CBS. A great day for every Hokie in Blacksburg. So long.
In the biggest game in Virginia Tech history, the Hokies beat Boston College at Lane Stadium in Blacksburg today. Mike Stevens and the News 7 sports crew are at the game. Mike?
Well, Roy, we're getting set for tonight's big half-hour post-game show coming up at 7 o'clock. But first, we want to get folks caught up on a couple of things that just happened. If you have not heard, Colorado has beaten Nebraska in overtime. So the BCS is now just be something else, and you can figure that out because now Tech is certainly assured of playing in the Sugar Bowl on January 4th against Florida State. That's because earlier today they took care of business and beat Boston College handily here at Lane Stadium. On a day reserved to honor the outgoing Tech seniors, leave it to a freshman to steal the spotlight. Michael Vick, who still doesn't know how it feels to lose a game at this level, accounted for 243 yards of offense in the first half alone. His running set up Stith's 13th rushing touchdown of the year. Tech scored on his first possession to take a 7-0 lead after a quarter. The second quarter was all Vick, an all-out air-out assault as he hooks up with André Davis on a 69-yard strike. It's 14-0 less than 2 minutes into the second quarter. Vick would complete 5 of 6 passes for 167 yards and 2 scores in the opening half. This time, he and Davis connect on a beautiful 49-yard play. It's 21-0 with 9:12 left in the half. And Vick's amazing running and scrambling would set up a Shane Graham field goal from 40 yards out as Tech hit the half with a comfortable 24-0 lead. Vick would continue to dominate the second half. Although BC would get on the board, Tech would get the victory. Vick finishes with 3 touchdown passes and this rushing touchdown as well as the Hokies blow out Boston College and finish the season with the school's first ever 11-0 record.
And quite a day here in Blacksburg for the Hokies. Roy, let me make a correction. I did say that Colorado had beaten Nebraska. Colorado scored first in the overtime, but I have just learned that Nebraska did come back and win it. However, because that game was so close and this one was a blowout, it still looks like Tech will maintain a pretty good advantage in the BCS, and hopefully they can lock up that Sugar Bowl berth if Nebraska does not manhandle Texas in the Big 12 championship game. Now, I want to remind folks that coming up tonight on News 7 at 7 o'clock, a special preview show called Hokie High. We're going to take a look at some of the great plays from today and this season as we check in with the Tech players and coaches. A live post-game show from right here outside of Lane Stadium. Roy, right now the reason the players and coaches have not made their way back into this locker room area, Coach Frank Beamer held a celebration on the field. That is still going on at this time, and we will have everyone here for you at 7 o'clock tonight.
Okay, Mike, I noticed, did I see a goal post on some people's shoulders up there?
It's going to be quite of a night here in Blacksburg. I sure we ought to be listening to the scanners very closely tonight.
Okay, Mike, we'll see you when you get back tonight.
All right.
Okay. Now,